Y'all know who it be. It's your man, 100 grand, Jean-Michael. Y'all do me a solid. Go ahead, hit the share button, hit the like button. It's going to be a dope conversation we're going to be having today. Talking about Logic Pro on the iPad. You know how we do. Go ahead, shout out where you're watching from down in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're watching on Facebook. Go ahead, shout out where you're watching from. We'll get you going. It's going to be a dope conversation today. Got my guys in here. A couple of friends we brought to the conversation. None other than Jan freaking Hunter. Y'all know the business with Jan. Then I got my man, 100 grand from across the sky, Brandon Rico Simpson. Y'all give it up for Brandon, man. He hopped in with us, y'all. What's up, bros? What's up, y'all? Y'all good? Y'all good? Y'all solid?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. We rocking and rolling today. So, man, Logic, or not Logic, but Apple actually dropped a cold one on us.
Yeah.
They dropped a cold one on us, y'all. Let me see. Let me get my screen pulled up here. They calling it the ultimate music studio at your fingertips. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the moment we've all been waiting for like, man, probably more than a decade. I've been waiting on this. I think I got my first iPad in like 2011-ish, somewhere around in there. And GarageBand had popped off, and it was hitting the game. And I was like, man, I can't wait to get Logic on here. I can't wait till they drop Logic. If they drop GarageBand, I know they're gonna drop Logic. And here we are, finally, like 15 years later, almost. You know,
yeah, bro.
and they finally got it to us. So, what y'all thinking about it? How y'all feeling about it so far, man?
I'm gonna let the pro see what I did there. I'm gonna let the pro
The
talk
Pro.
first, man.
Yeah, because Brandon, y'all, if y'all don't know, y'all need to check out his channel. Brandon is smacking the game. You got like, how many subs? You had like 30 something, 34?
Yeah,
Okay.
32,000 maybe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's in the
Killing it.
game. He ain't no slouch, as they say. This man has been
Bruh.
he's been smacking it with the iPad content, beat making content for a minute. So I thought it was dope to get him in on the conversation because it's super dope. That's what the Hangout is. It's just us hanging out. This is informal, but I like bringing people to the conversation that add value as opposed to just random people. But so I got Jan, who of course is the Logic guy. You type in Logic Pro X or Logic Pro on YouTube, and this man is going to be in at least the top 3. He's probably going to be like the second or third result, probably under Logic Pro help. He's gonna be like the second or third person that you see under that. And then of course Brandon, next to Henny. I wish we could have got Henny on the pod. That would have been dope.
Man,
Next to Henny, man, you probably got the best content around iPad beat making on there, man. So you've been smacking. So I like getting people in on the convo that's that can add value to it, because I've been using Logic for over a decade. Jan is as well. So, you know what I mean? And then you've been smacking it on the beat making side. So we got different perspectives in the room that can give us all a perspective, because I'm not an iPad producer, iPad beat maker. I've used iPads in live performance and live production and stuff, but never really kind of smacked it from the perspective of trying to, do it live, use it for production or what have you. So how y'all feeling about the update? Like you said, we snatched it up to Brandon. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You've been kind of killing it with that, man.
So with Logic, man, I've been using Logic since 2009.
Wow.
On a unibody, the white unibody MacBook.
Yeah, the white joint.
Yeah. So and then from there, I was always annoyed, man, with just a little backstory about how I got into iPad beat making. Just annoyed with how tedious it was and how the technology had not caught up with
Yeah.
what our needs are as mobile producers or mobile musicians, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there would be people that would call me that would need beats or that would need or just want to hear my beat catalog, and I don't have it on hand. I got I got um MP3s on my phone or stuff like that, but it's
Yeah.
like I want to be able to send out sessions or even work on sessions and edit stuff, right then and there, right? So
Yeah.
from 2009 to I want to say about maybe 2012, whenever the first the iPad Mini 2 came out. That's what
Yeah.
it was. Is when I got serious making beats on the iPad.
Yeah.
And that, again, like you, Mike, it was the GarageBand and Beatmaker 2 that
Okay.
really stuck with
Mm.
me. And so that was my entry into, all right, I can start taking this serious as on the go. I can get stuff done and then bringing it back to my normal setup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, I was real quiet about that up until maybe 2017.
Okay.
Mm.
In 2017, one of my mentors and one of my best friends, man, Henny the Business, um,
Wow.
has started being a lot. He's always been pretty vocal about iPad music production, but
Yeah.
he's a lot more active in showing off his workflow and everything. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
I,
That's
I
how I
probably
tap
I
Yeah.
in with
probably
him.
should talk about mine, but up until that point, man, I got laughed out of studios, man. I got laughed
Interesting.
out of studios. I mean, not laughed out of studios, but
Yeah, I know
people
what you
laughed
mean.
at me
Yeah.
within studios
You
sessions
wasn't
where I would
taken
pull out my
seriously.
yeah, I pull out my iPad and they be like, "Man, you didn't make that on there." I'm like, "Bro, everything you hearing now was made on an iPad Mini." And it was a
Dang.
yeah, on an iPad Mini, right? So, um, from just I started getting on YouTube to answer people's questions about the workflows and how I'm setting everything up.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today, we got Logic, and it's like now the heads are turning.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I
So
Apple definitely made a statement. I don't even think Apple anticipated how big
no.
this is gonna be. I mean, I know that it might be a cash grab for them, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
I
this
mean,
is the end result.
are you feeling like the I always like the meme, the joint, the Coming to America joint when they be aha,
Yeah.
aha. Are you having that feeling right now? Like, you know what I mean? Like now that you're seeing it come to fruition, what people thought, because I was one of those advocates that was thinking like, nah, Apple ain't bringing that to the iPad. People ain't paying for that. It's because of the infrastructure, all of the things that come with it, like third-party plugins and things
Mhm.
like that, the way the DAW is set up. Like, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, because that
Yeah.
is like I think an important key part about this situation of whether or not who this is for and answering that question. But
Yeah.
like now seeing it come to pass in the last few years, it's like it's starting to, I started seeing it make sense. But here we kind of have it. So are you definitely like, I was telling y'all
So,
I
I
knew.
mean, I've been telling people for the longest time. I got several videos talking about that this was going to be the future. I predicted it over 5 years ago, almost 7 years ago now. So,
Wow.
um,
Yeah.
it's here. It's been here.
Yeah.
Everybody that's just now getting onto the iPad beat making wave. That's cool. Welcome to the family. But we've been doing this.
We
You know what
been
I
here.
mean? Like, and one of my
Yeah.
Straight
biggest
up.
cringes has been watching people make videos about it and saying things that they have no idea how this stuff works.
Yeah.
They have no idea that there have been already pro apps
Yeah.
already developed
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
iOS.
they have no clue, man. But it's go time for you now, because now you about to have an influx of
Oh yeah,
of just like people that that don't know this. So this is the time to really start pumping out that content. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, what you
And
thinking, Jan? How you feeling about it, man? I mean, you missed the Logic Pro. You got the T-shirt, you got the skull cap for Logic Pro. You team
I actually
Logic all day.
do.
You was just mixing with me 2 days ago. You mixed the whole joint live on the channel. with Logic Pro. You got Logic Pro tutorials on our web. Like, you are Mr. Logic Pro. So
Yeah, I
what
feel
say
great.
ye from the authority?
I feel great. And spoiler, my first video is most likely gonna drop today.
Let's go.
My first impressions, making a beat and stuff like that. And I love it. I got it sitting in front of me right now. Just
Yeah.
is man, it's a lot simpler than what I thought. And I hear what Brandon is saying in
Yeah.
terms of like how efficient it really is now with the technology. Because I was like, how do I hook up a MIDI controller? Like, I'm so
Mm,
old into just, laptop, USB-C ports or
exactly.
type A ports. So I just literally plugged in my USB hub from my laptop into my iPad, and the whole studio just turned on. I was like, are you
Wow.
serious? You could do that? So I'm like way like on some like spider web mentality vibe. So now I'm just, getting the dust off the shelves and coming into this world like, oh, what's up? So I had my full experience with it last night, and I just shot my video today.
Yeah.
I will say that it actually is pro compared to GarageBand.
Okay.
This is definitely pro. It's like mobile pro-esque. It's
Yeah,
not
that's what I
the
was gonna say. So is it pro enough for the pros though? That's the question
Right.
I
yeah,
think
it
we want
so
to.
it
You think?
is because the libraries are insane. Like, Apple is going for blood vessels in terms of sound libraries. That's why I vouch for Logic all the time, because I'm
Yeah.
like, it's the one DAW where just open up the box,
Yeah.
virtually, just open up the box, plug in a controller if you even need one now,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
just go ham with stock instruments. I was just playing Oak Felder's kit. I caught a hip hop backpack vibe like that.
Mm.
Wow.
They got some fire samples in there that I chopped up in the video. Like, it actually sounds like I did it on the MPC.
That's
So
interesting, man. See, I got it.
it is
Actually got
pro.
my iPad connected now. I can
Yeah,
bring it up.
like it actually is pro. I believe it is pro, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's pro in terms of traditional workflow. I think it's pro in terms of mobile beat making. I think it is pro.
Yeah, man. That's why I was looking. I was just pulling it up just to see, because like I wanted to get to where's that joint where you was talking about the kits. Let's see. You got to go to the joint and then app shelf, not the app shelf, the
Oh yeah, you
sound
got to
library. There we go. I was trying to pull that up because you was talking about the sounds.
yeah.
And
So the first two, then notice they the first two for a reason.
yeah,
First
the
three
beat tape
actually.
joint.
Yeah, like that their joints is cool. That's fire too. I like the Tom Mish. I like Tom Mish, Track Girl, and Oak's kit so far. I've
So
used
far,
all
so Track Girl.
yeah.
This is your
Yeah,
vibe
that
right
was fire.
now. Oak joint. Of course. Oak is the goat.
Yeah.
Goat
Because
Oak.
he knows. I mean,
Yeah,
he knows. He knows
yeah.
what's not gonna fly. He's gonna give you
He's
some
gonna give you
real
some heat.
joints. Yeah.
So they got the pack. So this I said this yesterday. I went live yesterday. I was like, this kind of reminds. This is the Garage Band vibes with a little bit more, stuff added. Because I remember some of these packs that they released, like the Oak kit. Some of these producer packs they released with Garage Band, right?
I believe so.
I know the Oak.
Some,
I know
not
Oak for
all,
sure.
some.
I think remember seeing Oak in the Garage Band one before.
Definitely. That's
Yeah.
because he was one of the first to drop a kit, actually.
Yeah, he was. He was in
Yeah.
that first thing. So they got the kits, they got the sounds. So I haven't downloaded everything yet. I haven't downloaded all the. I just downloaded like the essentials. The only ones I got, you could see that I got this one downloaded. I just got the essentials. I hadn't even got into the third party packs yet with it. So I'm just literally on the essentials just to kind of see what was up. But have either one of y'all downloaded like the full
I
joint? Because
did. I did. That was the first thing I did was download everything, let
you
everything
did
load and
everything.
populate. Yeah. Yeah.
You got everything. So how much? So here's the number one question. Here's question like number one. I think that people are probably going to want to know like how much space is required in order to do this? Because again, we're working with iPads, mobile storage, all of that stuff like that. So we got different configurations and stuff like what is that? What is that space commitment? Because Logic Library is pretty large.
That's what impressed me. So with the space, you're looking at just for Logic download under 700 megs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You start downloading the packs. If you have a 64 gig, you're still in good standing. If Logic is going to be your thing,
If that's the only thing on the joint, yeah.
right, yeah.
Because
If
it's
Logic
telling
is
me,
the thing,
it's telling me I can't do it. But yeah, you are
Because
right.
you got
Though.
what, the 64 gig?
Yeah, I got to say, I'm gonna have to get another iPad, bro, because
there you
this is a starter kit joint. Like now that I know we can produce,
Yeah.
I'm
It's
about
time
to
to up it.
upgrade the pad to something more.
see, that's gonna be the conversation. But the whole everything after you download everything is it's about 15 gigs.
Oh, dope. So
Crazy.
15 gigs. Well, like if you're on the 64 gig iPad and you SOL, but
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah, you can't talk to nobody, no
talking about
FaceTime, no sharing pictures, no nothing.
Yeah,
your iPad is just for producing. That's it. You
that's
don't
it.
do
That's it.
nothing.
If iPad, if Logic Pro is gonna be your thing, then that's pretty much all you're going to need. Now there are other libraries that are better for um just different abstract sounds and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
now you
For
got
sure.
Alchemy, you got
Yep.
Oh yeah, that changes the
all
game. Just
the
alchemy.
studio strings, studio horns, like these are massive sounds.
Yep.
Skip the sound storage. If we talking money to premium quality ratio, you can stop looking at anything else. Everything you
makes
need is
sense.
in Logic.
Yeah, alchemy alone, I think, changes the game. Just having that, in there or what have you. So that's dope. And I was noticing that even with downloading some of these packs and downloading some of these joints, because like the space requirements on like this one, if I went and grabbed this one, I just tapped on a random one. It's only like 300 megs, like 400 megabytes. So you can choose to grab certain ones. Like
Yeah,
this is 149 megabytes. I saw one that was like real short, 364. That looked like one of your album covers, Jan.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the tape vibes, bro.
Yeah, that's what they're going for. So that's 140. I saw one yesterday. It was only like 15 megabytes or something like that. It wasn't the whole library. It wasn't that large. But like if you get, of course, like studio strings, that's like almost 2 gigs.
yeah.
Studio
And
horns,
it's
that's 2 gigs.
what's crazy is that it sounds like it.
Yeah.
That was one of my biggest
premium.
fears, man, is that it wasn't gonna.
Yeah.
The smaller the library, the less it's gonna sound like.
Oh, this is nice. Oh, here now. This is it. Here's an expanded view, so you can kind of see. There it is, right there at the top. All I had to do is tap there. 14. So if I get all, it's only going to take up 14.55 gigs on my iPad.
Yep.
And so it shows there all of the space requirements. There's one for 99 megs. Yep. Some of these the artist packs are surprisingly small. Oaks is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oaks is the biggest one, and then you got all this. That one, this was the one that was like 4 megs, like just stat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's cool, man. Just having that. So you gotta up your space game if this is what you want to do. Is produce here. But I think that's super dope, man. I did have a question. I saw it pop up in the chat about SSDs. Have either one of y'all? I haven't experimented with it yet.
As of right
experimented with it yet?
now, no external SSD storage compatible.
Wow. Because you using iCloud?
Yeah, it's all iCloud and local storage for right now. So hopefully they update that with the external storage option. But yeah, as of right now, I wish you could offload that stuff like how you can on desktop.
Right.
So
I can't store sessions. Can I store? I can't store sessions on the drive. Like
pretty sure you can store sessions. You would just have to recall it and drag it to the local.
Yeah. to a
Yeah,
Logic folder
yeah,
because I know once I pull it up, when I go into project mode, um, it's basically the file browser, you know, in
yeah,
the
Yep.
Files
yeah,
app, and that's where
yep,
all of the sessions live
yeah.
in there, or what have you.
And that's more so of an iOS thing than it is a Logic
Yeah.
Pro on iPad thing, you know.
So okay, so that's definitely like a check, I'd say, against the is it for
Pro,
pros
yeah, yeah,
type
Yeah.
vibe, because that's kind of something as a pro that I'm almost expecting to be in there to be able to do something simple as that, like being able to pull, because all of us, you know, I know Jan, you can definitely talk to this because you got like libraries for days, like I'm talking like folders for days on external drives,
Yeah.
probably a terabyte worth of stuff that's just living on external drives that you're using on the regular in your production. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. My sound packs are pretty extensive. Like even my one shots, like I got like 80 gigs of one shots, you know.
oof,
So yeah. So it's pretty extensive. So I think for me, definitely, I did play around with, and I mean, I'm gonna drop the YouTube video anyway, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
We don't
mind.
want to
I
spoil.
don't mind spoiling it, but the hack though is put your favorites, your go-to kits, put those in Dropbox, put them in iCloud, drag them there. Um, you can. There's some hacks like I dragged in on my beat during that I'm getting ready to drop. I just saved some kits in Dropbox, and
Okay.
then I just we could talk. I mean, I guess we can kind of get into the next part of this too, like in
Yeah.
terms of pros. So right now, it feels starter kit pro because
Mm,
you cannot access your samples, your personal samples. You can't access them in the sound library or like the browser function in the
yeah.
full version of Logic. You actually have to pull up your files app and pull it up along the side and
drag
do
and
the
drop it.
multi-app thing and
Yeah.
then drag your one shots in one by one from the Files
Ooh.
app into the Logic session.
Yeah.
So it's
So
kind of,
you can drag them from you said dragging them from the Files app. I'm trying to see if I can even see what
yeah,
that,
you
if I
gotta
can
pull up the
demonstrate that.
multi-tab and
Oh, the multi-tab in
yeah,
the
yeah.
joint.
So you gotta kind of like
Yeah.
slightly swipe up and hold. Yeah, like that.
Oh
And then
yeah.
now
That's
bring up your
ratchet.
files and then put them on the right hand side of
Yeah,
this.
see, I gotta put the files in my dock to even be able to do that.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like that's why it's like, in terms of pro, yeah, like what you can do is pro, but how you're doing it is like still
Yeah, it's a
starter
different
kit.
workflow. So
Yeah.
okay, with that said, okay, Brandon, you're definitely in this world. So we're desktop heads coming from we're desktop workflow cats coming from a that trying to come into a iPad based workflow, a touch based workflow.
Yep.
You've been working in this for a minute
Mhm.
already, so I'm pretty sure it's you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah.
So how has that been like getting around for you? Like, how do you solve those problems? What are those things? Just like Jan said, he drops them in Dropbox and yada yada yin yang. Are there
So
solves for that sort of thing?
so for me, a lot of what I'm doing is based off of my previous workflow. And there are a few key utility apps that you're gonna want to know when you're getting into iPad beat making. One of those is probably the first thing you're ever going to need to download when you're considering making beats on the iPad is Audio Share. That's a
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yep, that's a key utility app because it lets you share things in a way that it lets you preview it. With the Files app, I guess they have the quick preview, but it doesn't have the tools to trim or normalize or different things like that audio share would provide. So um, there's a bunch of utility apps that we have that give you
Mhm.
those workarounds. And when you stop thinking about the iPad as a extension to the desktop and actually think about it as a window within a desktop. The iPad
Yeah.
itself, I mean, you have a bunch of little workflows that just they all work together. And
So this
so,
is audio share, right? What you was talking about, what you was just talking about.
yeah, yep, that's it.
All right, got you. So this lets you. So what's the benefits of this? How would this integrate into? Does this solve the problem that Jan was just talking about, where he was
Yep,
like,
yep,
"Yo,
yep.
I got
So you have a compressor where it can put all your stuff into a zip file, which
oh
uh,
nice,
yeah, it gives you all the tools that you would need for audio type stuff, or even converting files, or
let's see,
yeah, you can
yeah, so
see
you can convert it
converting
to a
files and all
wave
that stuff.
AFL. Okay,
Yeah, just
audio
the
share.
basic tools that you would need. That's like having Audacity, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's like the Audacity utility for Windows or
Yeah.
even Mac. Just
yeah,
your basic
So $5.
sound
So that's
manipulator.
another $5 you got to spend.
Yeah,
If
but
you really, really
that's
need it,
the
but it's still
essential.
necessary. It's
That's
like
the
buying
essential.
plugins for your Mac.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I do agree with it more on the essential side. So I'm assuming Logic talks to audio share then, like in
Yeah.
terms
So
of like bringing your files in.
I would think so. I haven't tried it personally yet. But
Okay.
for the sake of uh exporting sounds and everything like that, audio share pretty much works with everything even outside of Logic. So
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
that makes sense.
That makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
That
So
makes
so
sense.
it just makes porting and manipulating your file management a lot easier than the built-in files app. Even with all the files app upgrades and stuff like that. It's just
Definitely.
better for working with music.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So that's definitely a tool. What's some other tools you think that like cats need to be kind of know about, like walking into this world? Because I'm definitely gonna check. I'm gonna download that right after the stream and check that out.
I would say ooh, there's a lot of manipulator tools. I would say for
Okay.
MIDI manipulation, they have MIDI emitter, they have
Oh yeah,
MFX
I've seen those
strip.
joints.
There's this I have this app called Transcribe. Um, you know, and
Hmm.
I probably won't need that as much now that Logic is here, but these are just the basic utilities. These are, stuff that you come across in the app store and you're like, no, I don't need that because I got Serato sample on a desktop. Well, now if you're
Yeah,
if you're you know what I'm saying, if you're considering iPad beat making, then these are the things you need to know. So
yeah.
I
In
can I
general,
can
for sure.
I can find
Definitely,
a list. But
man.
there
I
are a
mean, I
bunch
think
of other channels too that talk about all this stuff too. Like
yeah.
even Haney the Business has been talking
Oh,
about this
Henny,
stuff
yeah,
for years. So
yeah.
Haney the Business, you got the Garage Band guy,
I saw him.
Patrick. You got Pete Johns. You got a bunch of iOS creators that really kill it as far as like information. Yoka Pack, um,
Yeah,
a lot of
Hmm.
different people. So when it comes to being efficient, then you're gonna need those utilities. Those are
definitely.
essential anyway.
I agree with that, man. I think that's where it's gonna have. We got to learn a new workflow, and build into that. Um, so here's some things that I was just thinking about, like to try to make sense of, because there's a lot of things that are like missing from this, that I think that we're used to on the desktop part.
Hmm.
Um, like I didn't see. I had a difficult time yesterday on my live, literally looking for flex pitch. Like I
I
spent
still haven't found it.
20 minutes on the live and I gave up. I literally gave up. I was able to
Hmm.
get off when I got off the live. I found flex time. Flex
Yeah,
time is in there, but
Yeah,
flex pitch.
on
I'm
the
about
on
to
the auto
tap.
sampler, right?
No, 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 not even on the auto sampler. So like, flex pitch is when you're like
Yeah,
tuning vocals like Melodyne type
Oh, okay.
vibes. Like tuning
you
Okay.
vocals.
I'm about to tap in with you
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I
Um,
found like flex time.
Because I
Let
still
me
haven't
see.
found
So
any of that stuff outside of
I'm gonna show
the.
you. I'm gonna redeem myself from my live yesterday,
ah,
uh, because I actually found flex. So to get to
oh,
it, so like if I'm on any channel, if I go to the beast like this is an empty channel. There's not even anything on the channel. If I'm tapping on the audio region, it's giving me different things, but it's right there. I wish I could zoom in, but right there, that little toggle at the bottom that says flex. So if
Okay.
I turn that
I
on,
didn't even see that.
now I get the options. I got like flex mode. So we got
I see it.
monophonic, slicing, rhythmic,
Yeah, I figured it.
polyphonic.
I
Never saw
just
that.
found it too.
Yeah. But flex pitch is not in there.
Nah,
Mm.
I don't think that's oh, it's what you got to do first is, let me see. No, that's not it either, cuz it would have been
I
right
was
there.
looking for the icon.
Yeah, I was looking for the icon too, because even on the line, it was like it's right there under the record button. I'm like, nah, that's automation.
That's
Yeah.
automation.
That's
No, no,
automation.
no. I think they own to something. No, cuz you do need to turn on, it is technically automation. Technically it is. It
Mhm.
actually is automation.
But even if if I bring in,
Automation settings.
maybe we might find it here on this live. If we find it, we're gonna redeem the time because
Yeah, so you flex and flow, flex and follow. Yeah, no, no, that's actually to bring in something, um, another loop or something like that, and it'll automatically
yeah.
gel to your session. That's
But
the flex and follow.
right. That's I found that and I was digging into that yesterday. And there's even some automation some flex settings in settings. Like if I go in here to settings and go to project settings, and then there's flex under here,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you
no,
got, like you said, flex and follow.
that's
Yeah,
to
that's what you was just talking
conform.
about.
Yeah, that's to conform the session to what your
Yeah.
tempo is. Conform
Warping,
whatever it
basically
is
like
in
what we
there.
do in Ableton type vibes. And that's cool, but like I can't tune a vocal on here if I wanted to tune a vocal. So that, I
Yeah,
mean, unless there's some other hidden way to get to it, that's a bit
there's because you got
that's
to
a bit
pull
trash
up
to
the
me.
I'm about to figure this out, bro.
But even though that's a bit trash to me, and even if it's in there, it's just like
It should have
Brandon
been
said, it's not
right
obvious.
there.
Like
Yeah.
you can't find the icon. Like, in Logic, like on the joint, and I got my little mouse pointer here. Like it's normally right up here
Yeah, that
on the
flex
like,
pitch. Yep.
it's
Yep,
like
it's
right where
right
this automation would be, or it's on
there.
the channel strip itself. You know what I mean? Like in the
Yep.
actual Logic, you'll have like the channel strip, and you can be like, oh yeah, I want to turn on flex. Boom, then
Yeah,
you go to
everything that
like
can be
monophonic
flexed
slicing.
it has that icon there.
Yeah, every track, and that's like a bit dumb to me. Like I'm not gonna hold you. That's a L for me for Apple. Even if flex pitch is in there some kind of way, the complicated measures you gotta go through to
Yeah,
enable it to get it going
Yeah.
is so this
Yeah, it slows down the work.
disheartening.
oh,
It
I
breaks you
figured
from
it
the
out, bro.
continuity.
You
I
figured
think
it
I
out. You
got
figured
it.
out flex pitch,
Yeah, I think you got to hit that pencil tool on the track. Turn on the flex joint automation. Let's get this to parameter. Let's see. We getting
we getting
warmer.
close.
Yeah, we about to crack this code because it's literally because you that's the main thing with flex is you got to turn on you got to hit that pencil tool and then go from there. And then let me go to, I think it's track, slicing monophonic speed. So it should have been right there,
Right.
but
And
it's you got to
that's
hit.
the point. It should have been
It
there.
should have been. That's the exact point I'm making. Like this
Yeah,
is too much. Just us sitting here taking 10 minutes to try to figure out if we could do flex pitch is garbage. I'm just
I
not
don't
gonna hold
know.
you. I love Logic, but that's garbage, bro. Like if it's in there and we had to figure it out. And then you was talking about this yesterday when we was talking, Jan, like what was it? How they changed up all the key commands.
Yeah, all that.
Mm.
None. You got like
You got different
5%.
key commands. So if I hold down command, it pulls up like all of these key commands and like some of the basic stuff that we're used to is not in here. Like I know, like for me, like workflow, dragging in something right here. Don't import. I don't really care. Like being able to just come here, click, and then Even have the
Yeah.
playhead. The playhead is right here, and then I can hit Command T,
T. Yep.
and it splits. But that doesn't happen.
That. Oh, don't tell me that, because I was
It
just
doesn't
Nah,
about to
happen.
buy
bro.
So I
You
got to
the.
gotta
hold. What is it, Jan? You got to like tap. You got
you
to go
gotta tap
split,
and then go to
split at
split at
playhead.
playhead. Yep.
That's dumb.
Man, I almost bought the Magic Keyboard just because I was like, all right,
I
bet.
actually bought one yesterday.
You
Oh
see what I'm
man,
saying? That's
I
a
actually
bit
bought it
trash to me.
yesterday.
yeah, because them hotkeys they come in
No,
handy.
it comes in clutch, and then you can't edit the key commands either, right, Jan? You can't change the keyboard shortcuts,
Nah,
right?
nah,
They
you
baked
locked
in,
in right now.
And
so
see,
you
and
locked
that was
into
my
all
issue.
these. You said what, Brandon?
I was afraid that it would feel less like Logic Pro and more like a Garage Band Plus.
Yeah.
No, that's what this is. It's just definitely it's GarageBand Plus, bro. It's GarageBand
Yeah.
Pro. Let's just call it
And I'm
like it
hoping that
is.
the subscription would kind of ensure, a lot of support and
Yeah,
frequent updates.
yeah. No,
So,
this is
given that it's Apple,
it's
I'm
still starter kit. It's still starter kit,
yeah.
as y'all was saying. It's still starter kit
Yeah.
out here with this because it's just there's a lot. Now, is notation in here? That's what I was wondering. I know the
I don't
piano
think
roll,
notation
like
is in there, Doc.
you said what?
Nah, I don't think notation is in there.
Yeah, so think about that. I know that's like a small thing that like probably 85% of us don't use. We don't use like the music notation app, part of to like score. But think
Yeah.
about
Well,
composers and
well,
people
that's what I
that
was gonna
use
say
Logic.
because my man's the fingers, Marcus Manderson, a
Yeah.
huge advocate for both Logic Pro and um,
Hmm.
iOS music production. He does film scoring.
Yeah.
He does, the commercials and stuff, a lot of the stuff that I do. And I was wondering what his workflow would be like or how it will suffer if he decides to leave his laptop at home and
Right.
just carry the iPad.
So
Um,
those are things that we don't think about because it's like, yo, like a composer, like most of us, we're, like you said, beat makers, regular producers, you know what I mean? And we do, various genres, but there's a whole community, like a huge community of composers and
Yeah.
arrangers that do film scoring in Logic.
yeah,
That's where they do because it's the most comprehensive app. You got everything in there. You know what I mean? You got your notation. You can print your sheet music you can track out horn parts, track
yeah,
out string parts in the MIDI, and then pull up the notepad, the notation editor, and you got all of your sheet music there that you
yeah.
can look, and then you can export that and send it off to your horn section, send it off to your string section, send it off to those people that do. That's a pro workflow that's not in here, but yet they're calling it Logic Pro. I wish they just would have called it Logic. I could digest it a little bit better.
You
I
But
can
know
it's
see
what?
like
And
why you're
that's
saying
let's
that.
slap
that's a
pro in
very
there.
good point. That's a very good point.
I can see why you're saying that instead of Logic Pro. Yeah, bro. I'm not seeing flex pitch, bro.
It's not in there. It's not in
You
there.
know
You're
what
not
else
gonna
is not in there?
yeah.
The fading tool.
It is the fade. So we don't have a
Where?
fade tool, but you do have the fade, which
It's like
Oh,
is kind of whack. You got to do the start and stop manually of the fade.
that's stupid.
how do I? Because I'm looking for the marquee tool, right? And that's usually how I drag and
Yep.
drop my fading region. And then I like to
Yep.
crossfade my two audio regions.
Yeah, now those
I didn't
tools are you only
I
get the
did not.
looping tool, the cut tool, and the trim.
That's stupid. So yeah, you losing a lot. And then even so I got my mouse, and keypad, my whole setup connected to my iPad. So this is like working with it with a mouse and keyboard flow. Get it right, John Mike. This is that flow, but it's nowhere near like working with a mouse in Logic itself. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like things that I would
I
expect to do, I can't do.
I think that Apple was really leaning heavy on, the user who wants the tangibles, who
Exactly.
wants to be able to
It's a
touch.
finger based app, hands
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And so but why give me mouse support if I can't do, because I expect to be able to click in my arrangement here. And if I want to make this bigger, I want to like expand on I'm doing the whole pinch to zoom. Can't do that.
On the
But I can do
trackpad.
it if
Yeah.
I reach up with my hand, I can do it. I can make it bigger, make it smaller.
Well,
They want
again,
you to
that's
work.
more of an iOS issue than it is a Logic Pro. So they're still
Big
limited
facts.
to iOS.
Big facts. Big
The
facts. And
processing power is
that's a good
there,
point.
the software is there, and then now they have the customer base, but they're still limited to their own, operating system.
Definitely. And
Which
that
is
makes sense. But you got guys, again, like I ain't gonna say most, they're definitely targeting this at at the demographic of just, iPad people that are used to this workflow. But you got the guys, the dinosaurs, that's what I'm gonna call us. The dinosaurs like us that come from Logic in a desktop environment. And we're hyped. We're geeked. We've been waiting on this. Portable Logic in my back. Like if you got an iPad mini, almost Logic in your back pocket. You know what I
back
mean? It's
pocket.
like we've
Facts.
been see? We've been
And I'm not
waiting on
afraid
that.
to pull it out no more. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Straight
saying?
up.
We've been
I
waiting
got
on
Logic.
this. And so now when I get to it, coming from the desktop, there's a heavy expectation on what's going to be available and what I'm going to be able to do. And the fact that I can't, there's just certain things. I mean, it's like you kind of smack your lips at it. You know what I mean? You're working, you're like, oh yeah, I want to zoom. Oh, I can't zoom in. All right. Well, anyway, you keep moving. All right. Oh, I got to do it. Like, okay. So I got to learn this different workflow just to be able to kind of breathe, so to speak, just in Logic. That was not there. And I think the biggest thing for the dinosaurs is going to be the lack of VST, like not VST, but like desktop class plugins that you're not going to be able to use in this environment. We're talking about your Omnispheres, your Contact, your Silent, your all of those, all of that jazz, Waves, Slate plugins, Baby Audio, Mic DSP.
So where I hear you,
yeah, I know where you're going. Go ahead.
Some of these libraries have parallels in the iOS community.
Yeah, they have the mobile kind of versions of them because our Arteria got support now.
Yeah.
Yep. Baby Audio, even.
Fab Filter.
Baby Audio, Fab Filter.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a handful of them. And I think we're going to get more. I think now that they've moved it over, Apple made a statement. Apple made a statement, and everybody's going to start rushing to support it.
And that's where I was going to get to as far as like developers goes. Yeah. This is a come up opportunity.
Yeah.
People like you, John Mike.
Yeah. So here's the caveat. This is my rebuttal to that. It definitely, because I've already get the emails. I woke up this morning to 6 emails. When's Peculiar Sounds going to be on iOS? It's already started. Yeah, exactly. The madness has already started. Here's what's kept developers, because I can speak from a developer standpoint, what's kept developers from the iOS marketplace and developing for that platform is not the constraints of the software or iOS. That's part of it. They got to there is some recoding and some retooling you got to do to make it work. But it's the economics. It's people won't pay $500 for an iPad app.
Got you.
They won't.
I hear you.
It's just not the money. Like they're not. You're going to have a small spot because people they complaining about $4.99 a month. They complain about $50 a year for Logic. If I slap Peculiar Sounds on them and say it's $200.
That was assuming that we didn't have so much of what we have. After seeing how hard they went on the controls, did you see that organ?
Yeah,
the organ is dumb.
Yeah.
Did you see the smart controls on the Evoc?
I think I got it pulled up.
Yeah, and to answer Matthew's question, we're not talking about pitch correction from a plugin standpoint. We're
Yeah,
talking about um, flex pitch from like a built-in Melodyne approach,
yeah.
where Logic Pro has their own version of Melodyne, where you can get a piece of audio, do flex pitch, and then you can actually manually change the note. So the waveform will zoom in and you will actually see like MIDI notes
Hmm.
attached to the waveform where you like almost like a piano roll and you can change it. So right now we're saying that we can't find that function.
Yeah, we can't find that function.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that is. Now the organ, like I got it pulled up here. Um, this is it's a blessing and it's a
That's gonna go
curse.
crazy in a live session.
This is crazy. This is for us church heads. With the church heads, you got
Yeah.
organ. You got like legit organ like all here. Now, my only pushback to this, my only pushback is the GUI sucks.
Okay.
It's a little, I was playing with it yesterday and getting to my drawbars was a little funky. Like
Okay.
I've learned how to do it, but it like that. Like I pulled down, I was like, it wasn't doing it. And I was thinking like I was touching the joint and it was pulling down, and I was like, I'm just trying to
But
bring this thing up. It
but
won't
peep
do it.
this
Then I had
though. But peep this. Turn off the browser and just rotate the
On the bottom.
iPad.
oh yeah.
That right there is
Yeah.
enough for me.
Oh,
That
that's super
right there,
dope.
that
No,
changed
it's dope.
just the rotation. And if you get the right mount, of course, and
Yeah.
you're on a live session, you got the right keyboard, the right, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's the perfect recipe
Yeah.
for on the go, whatever.
Oh no,
This
it's gonna be cold. I would say you probably gonna want to get like MIDI. I don't know. See, I can see I'm tapping and holding on it. It's not giving me like any options for MIDI mapping. You might want to check in. See, that's
oh,
another
so
thing we can do on the
that's
desktop.
another thing. There you go. MIDI
We can do
mapping.
mapping for smart controls to our controller, but I don't see that in this version to be able to do that. Like I need some tactile feedback. Even if I'm recording organ, I want to be able to control my drawbars on the fly and be able to flip, things on the move instead of like having to stop and use a touch screen. So there's pros and cons to it. The pros is like, this is pro. Like they give me tweak over every parameter, like microphone settings, click options. It's everything we get in the desktop. The big issue with it is the GUI to me kind of sucks because one, visually, it's not doing it for me. I don't know if
Okay.
you could probably speak to it, Jan, as well. I
Yeah,
know.
I mean, because we spoiled, man. We
Yeah, we
spoiled.
spoiled. That's what the biggest part of it
We're
is.
used to seeing virtual drawbars. Like
Yeah.
the GUI on the full version of Logic. It's like we're just spoiled. That's all it is. Because
Yeah.
this to us looks like the development version of
Start
the
kit.
plugin. Like
Start
I've
kit.
and probably more so for John than me because he's dealing with this stuff full time. Like I
Yeah.
know him seeing the knobs like that
Yeah.
is like in beta phase. Like
That's what
okay,
it feels like. For
like
real.
it's the beta, version to
I
make
feel
sure everything routes properly. But
Yeah.
then you go to the GUI and you hit a button and it does all of those things. So it
Yeah.
does give me starter kit GUI vibes.
Yeah.
That's a major
Because
adjustment.
I'm having to look. It's not a transparent. Like you know how it is with a GUI for organ. You're gonna have like your percussion, your vibrato. It's gonna be a button. It's gonna your fast speed, slow speed, disjoint, all of that. That's going to be a button. Like if I'm recording and I'm having to scroll, like I'm just trying to get to the, I want to change it to C3. I want to change, where's that even at? Where's my bravado at? That doggone it.
It's a learning curve, bro. Like,
And you trying to find it. Oh, okay. now I got to turn on this. Okay. Then I'm thinking I want some distortion, but distortion isn't on. So I'm going through here looking for like my distortion and I'm like, where is it? Oh, dang it. I got to turn it off. It's a learning curve versus, and even coming from the desktop version of the Logic organ has all of those parameters as like clickable things on the GUI.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a whole lot less mental, so to
Gotcha.
speak, than that. That's my only pushback with it. I think we have it here. It's like they gave it to us. They said, okay, we need it. We need to get the organ on here. Here it is. But like, and especially it disappoints me because when you add in something like what's the joint? The instrument, Alchemy.
Yep.
Let me add in Alchemy. Where is Alchemy?
Oh yeah,
It'll be
Alchemy
under
sucks, bro.
Yeah, and
synthesizer.
I was gonna say that because as much as
I
I
can't even
appreciate
find
the
it in the
sound
joint. In the
library being
joint.
on iOS,
Mm.
I did feel a little slighted when it comes to. But you got to think about this.
That's
You got to think about this from a hardware standpoint. Let's even go with MIDI controllers with Arturia. They have the Key Lab, the regular Key Lab, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they got the what was it, the Key Lab Essential?
Yeah, the more controls on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The difference between the two is the more controls and the way it feels,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
not the
agree.
way it performs.
Yeah.
You still
But
play the same software instruments with that same piece of hardware. You still do all the same things.
yeah.
It's just, are you willing to sacrifice the user experience versus the listener, what they get for it?
I totally
Yeah,
agree with that.
1000%. They
Yeah.
didn't do too bad. I'm looking at yours, John.
Yeah.
They didn't do bad on this.
That's
This
what
one,
and that's what the next point I was about to make. Like when you're looking at Alchemy, look at this. Like it's comparable to what I get on the desktop.
Mhm.
They
it's a
gave me,
pocket. It's like a
yeah,
pocket-sized
it's a
version.
pocket size, but I
Well,
got
that's
my
their flagship.
XY.
That was their boom. You know what I mean?
They lit us up. I can
They
can
spent
rock
time
with
on that.
this.
Yeah.
I can rock with this. But then when they said, yeah, okay, we got to get the organ on there. Oh, yeah, we got to get the organ on there. This what
But
they did.
you
Come
got to look
on,
at it
bro.
too. For $50 a year or $5 a month, you got to
It's worth
assume
$50. I'll give
you
them
got to
$50 for
assume
this.
that this stuff was being thought of, and as this thing shipped out, they gave us a nice amount. Now, at a monthly subscription rate,
Yeah,
you got to assume also that these things will be updated as the
I agree.
feedback comes.
I
So it's
agree.
going to take creators like us to say, hey, we
Mhm.
don't mind an extra couple megabytes of space if you just give me some better
Yeah,
graphics on my.
just give me the GUI. Give me
You know what
something.
I'm saying?
Like, but here's the thing: even in GarageBand on the iPad, like the organ, they have the organ built in there, but the controls are there. So
Yeah.
how is it that I come from GarageBand on iOS organ with all of the switches, all of the drawbars, graphical user interface to jump over here to Logic Pro and get this? Like,
Okay, so and I haven't done this yet, but has anybody compared the sound quality from the
the
two?
sound quality is
I think it's there, bro.
there.
Like the Sonics is kind of crazy. Like the beat that
It's
I did today, the beat that I did today, and messing with it yesterday, I plugged it into my
undeniable.
like I said, I plugged it into my X32,
Yeah.
and I had everything coming out the monitors. It had the same weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
The
same weight, bro.
libraries show up compared to it, you know what I mean? Like and GarageBand is no slouch, but
Nah.
we know that the libraries were limited.
Yeah.
So when it comes to, again, when we talking about pro, are we talking about the end result or the user experience?
Yeah.
I
The
think and
sound
both.
is
I think and both.
sound. I think sound wise is pro. Sonics and sound.
Yeah,
Because
no
that
cap.
the joint that I made today, like it's there. Like it's there. I was like, geez, like this is kind of
It's clutch. It's gonna smack the game with that. But I think they did, and like you said, this is definitely the starter kit. But I would have hoped that they would have done a little bit better. And I understand. So looking at as a develop, so that's my user eye on.
Okay.
That's the user eye that's looking at that. from a developer, if I put my developer head on,
That's what. Yeah.
and I started looking at this from a development standpoint, I understand this from a development standpoint because the logic organ is stout in terms of control. Alchemy doesn't have as many parameters like in there to mess with as the logic organ does.
Right.
ES1 and some of the other, instruments that they got doesn't have as many parameters. When you go in under the hood in the desktop version of logic organ, it's all of this. It's all of this. You get control over all this. So I'm pretty sure from a development standpoint, they sat with this and they was like, how do we condense all of this control into a single interface?
I call cap a slight cap because
they logged in the lids.
I think they logged in a little bit, bro. Cause man, I wish my HDMI was set up, bro, so I could pull up my stuff.
Yeah.
But they got sampler. They didn't stop there. They did sampler alchemy. They went through the trouble to make a complex GUI for that. You get 3 sample points that you can choose from and manipulate the attack, the middle, and the release of a sample. And it has a granular feature. So it's got all these complex algorithms and all this stuff. And then we ain't talked about Beat Breaker yet.
Yeah, we ain't even got there.
Like, so we got.
Do you know how hard it was for me to find Beat Breaker? Let's start there. So it took me about 30, 40 minutes last night to find out that it's actually not an instrument, it's an effect.
Yeah, bro, it's a plugin.
They built it the way they showed it. It seemed like that joint. I had to go watch a video to find it out.
Yeah, bro, you gotta go to your mixer and then throw because I'm on my joint right now.
Yeah, you got to go in and throw it in as a plugin. You got to go in here. I found it. I got it.
They treated it like the Logic remote.
Yeah. It's the multi effects, and then you can pull it up from there, and then boom.
That threw me, bro. I almost did a video last night on it was just gonna be like a 1 minute like short that was gonna be like how to load up Beat Breaker. I was literally about to do that last night.
Yeah, I think that they
I'm
did.
like, if I'm having trouble finding it,
it's
5,000 other people that's having trouble, just as much trouble finding it as I did. And I didn't want to watch a 30, 40 minute video of somebody going through their whole process of it to figure out how to add it as an effect.
Each video on YouTube right now, which is why I'm about to smack mine as soon as we get off. Everybody's video, there's nothing under 20 minutes.
Oh, bro, I was on for 2 hours. My joint's 2 hours.
Ain't nothing under. So my joint is gonna be nice, a nice 15
Oh, you gonna
minute.
slap them?
Yeah, I'm gonna come in with about like a 12 minute video.
Yeah.
Cut through the bull and be like, yo, here's how to do this. Here's how to do that. Here's the main things you want to know. Let me know in the comments what else you want to see. But the Beat Breaker is a plugin. Well, they actually got that from the Master Fader multi effects from Logic Remote, like he was saying.
Yeah.
The Master Effects joint where you could it gives you like 2 open panel areas, and then you can like swipe your finger and do stuff. They actually got that from NPC. No
yeah, it's pretty cool. I was playing, I was messing with it. Like you can jump in different modes. You know what I mean? And they make it simple. That's the Apple way, is to give you simple ways to do stutter effects and, you know what I mean, kind of just different things. It's going to be interesting to play with.
Yeah, it's like isotope stutter. It's like you could just literally go in. So it takes, the left side is the start of the sample. The right side is the end of the sample. And you can see what he's tweaking. You can go and tweak any point of the sample from. So now he's doing like the mid end. Now he's sort of in the middle, and it's going to do something unique. And you can tweak it with
pitch,
it's going to sound like trash. Halftime. Now I do like the halftime. That's cold. No cap. The halftime on there, you put that on a master fader and do halftime and automate that, it's going to be cold.
So I'm trying to think of something. We already had that on iOS somewhere. And
there's a bunch of different. And another thing that gets me, I mean, now this is cool. It's just, again, there's a lot of little things. So like, for instance, I'm working in my mixer here. Let's just say I'm working in the mixer. And on Logic, on the desktop version, of course, we know we have a separate window that pops out when you double click or tap on a plugin. You know, their implementation is dope. Like if I hit the compressor, and open that up, it pulls it up
Yeah,
here,
I'm not feeling that.
which is
Yeah,
it's
it's kind of
cool.
whack.
But
Let me tell you why.
why you not feeling it?
Because of Stage Manager.
Yeah.
Once they showed me what they could do with Stage Manager, all of this flat image stuff, that should have been it could have been something different. I mean, let me
I
call
agree.
up my window when I call it up and then swipe to the side, like give it its own instance of it. This is Apple's app. So why did it not make its own protocol for those
Why
type
didn't
of
they should have came, and that's my main point I think that I've been trying to crunch together. Like, this is Apple. You should have came with your A game. Like, I just feel like they could have did better than them Celtics did the other night. I'm just saying, bro. Like,
Man,
they could have.
let me tell you where they focus is at, because this is hilarious and it's in tandem with what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
How about nobody could even find the doggone app in the App Store? Because I couldn't find Logic Pro.
The
I was
whole
like, I
front
typed
part of
in Logic,
Brandon's video
Logic
was that.
Remote. No, not Remote. Logic Pro, Logic Pro. And so I had to literally, I was like, all right, let me type in Logic Pro for iPad. It finally populated. It's not
It
even
wasn't even doing
populating in the
that for
store.
me. It wasn't even doing that for me when I started. What I had to do is I had to tap on Logic Remote, and then because some told me tap on Logic Remote, go down
similar apps or
more
something.
apps.
Yeah.
More apps. So I hit more apps. And that joint, but see, here's the thing. That's why I was live. I was one of the first people live about that. That's why I went live. I went live around 12, like it was somewhere around noon yesterday. I got it before just about anybody else did, because it wasn't propagated yet in the App Store. It was live around noon yesterday.
That's
but it wasn't
crazy.
It wasn't the way to get to it. Was you had to go through the Logic Remote and go to the more apps, and then it showed up in the list of apps by Apple,
Bro,
with pages
go to
and
the
all
App
that.
Store. Go to the App Store now and see what's on the front page now.
I'm
Go
pretty
to
sure
the
it's
App
like
Store
the
on your
banner.
iPad
I'm pretty sure that
and see
joint is
what's
like
on the
the
front
banner.
page now.
That joint's probably the banner. Yep, right there.
Man,
What's on the front page now? Yesterday, bro,
Oh,
they
you
didn't give
bro.
a
I
F
had a
about
panic
Logic
attack,
yesterday.
bro.
Oh man, I saw your video. Y'all need to go check Brandon's video. He did a video making a beat with Logic yesterday. It's super fire. But he illustrates what we're talking about directly at the front of his video.
That
It's
was
like he's
real
doing the
time.
whole he's watching Henny's video while he's looking for
Bro.
Logic in tandem.
Yeah,
They told us it was gonna drop at 1:00. Where is it at? It's 1:10.
Bro.
Man.
So they didn't even they don't care about Logic. Literally, this is what tells me they don't care. Because, dude, the only thing that was on the front page yesterday was Final Cut Pro.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what they was concerned about yesterday.
And let me tell you why. Because for years Apple has catered to the camera and photo
that's their
and
bag.
video community for years.
Yeah, that's their bag.
They made iPad like the poster child for, if you do photos, this is your thing.
They even called the USB joint. Remember when they first debuted the USB joint for
the camera connection kit?
It was called the camera connection kit.
Like,
it was just a Lightning to USB, but it was like, nah, this is the camera connection kit. No, it's how we plug our MIDI control. No,
this wasn't
the camera.
consumer name. This was Apple naming this product the camera connection kit. And that right there let me know where their priorities were. So now that they're talking about Logic, this is why I said they made a statement, because now when the conversation shifts from, oh, we have Final Cut, and Logic too, now the developers are coming. Now your Omnisphere is just like, what? Huh?
Yeah.
Now you're, you know what I'm saying? Now Native Instruments, they said, huh? We can make more money here too.
Yeah.
We can put our libraries where?
Yeah.
And that's why I said, from a developer standpoint, this is a come up.
It might be, and I'm not shaking my head. It remains to be seen. The jury is still out. I think it's gonna have, if guys like me and Jan, because it's crazy how the brain thinks. It's how the brain thinks. The same person, the same human being will go on any of these big companies' website, Omnisphere, we will pay $500 for Omnisphere.
I knew you were going to say
We'll drop a band to get Keyscape along with it. Just gonna give me the whole thing. But that same human being will open up the App Store. Man, this app is $7.
Yeah.
Why ain't paying $7?
And that's the
for
culture of things right now, like that. And that's, I made a point like this in another live stream. I told the community, the iOS community, be careful about the apps you pay for, because if they don't deliver and you paid over $20, you're killing our ecosystem. You're killing our
and the developers talk to each other. If somebody drops something on iOS, I bet you people are talking to FabFilter right now. Hey, yo, how's that working out, man? With y'all?
Well, so I don't have a problem with companies like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because their products actually deliver the same experience
from desktop to that, and that's what people want too. That's the expectation is
now,
just like my expectation is.
Apps that do basics, sine waves and stuff like that, stuff that we've heard already, stuff that we've seen already, or even like you said, the GUI is not there.
Oh yeah, bro. They want.
Yeah, they won't. I think somebody just put it in the comment. They said if you getting it, you paying for FabFilter. You're paying for FabFilter on iOS. You're paying the full price.
Ooh, John. Go to the App Store, type in FabFilter Pro Bundle. See how much that is, bro.
Yeah, I'm going.
They got the one-offs in there. You'll see it under there, but
yeah, come on, get over there. See, here we go. This
I think I bought it when it was like $90.
Bro, 90 my butt. They went up.
Yeah, they said it's go time.
Type in FabFilter Pro
you see
Bundle,
why,
bro.
though, because they see the market, they saw where it was going, and from a
they moved the ball there.
Said, "Oh yeah, we gonna get some of this too."
Right there. I got you fired up right here, bro.
Oh yeah.
So you talking about it? So they actually put it on sale. It's $119.
This is what I'm saying.
This is what we're used to
when they made that statement. If you want pro apps,
they may be the market leaders. If Cats is paying for this, let's see. It'll show you how many.
The bundle is 120,
reviews.
bro.
23 reviews. We got 23. I mean, 5 stars.
All 5 stars.
23 people that we know for sure they've made at least 23 sales. You know that for sure.
They deliver. They actually deliver on. They didn't cheap out on the graphics. It doesn't look.
It looks legit.
This is the FabFilter we know. This is the whole bundle. And see, this is the other thing. It's so many layers to this from the development standpoint. The layers with it from the developer standpoint is this. So you have the customer, you have the development side, you have the customer expectation side. They want one-to-one. I want to be able to experience the same way that I got work with it on the desktop. I got to work with it on the iPad. The iPad has limitations. We got to figure that out. But then the other standpoint is not just that; it's the fact that the ecosystem is different. So I own FabFilter on my desktop, and I've paid for that bundle, which was way more than $119. Yeah. If I want it for my iPad, I gotta go buy it again.
Yeah. I don't mind that though.
I don't mind that, but
what I mind is it's a subscription for what I already own.
There you go.
I will cash like right now. I'm looking at this and I'm saying from a consumer side, I'm playing devil's advocate. On the consumer side, I'm like 120. Man, let me just go ahead and bag that up real quick. Easy. I know everything's. I'm gonna have everything. I'm gonna pull up Logic. It'll pull up. It's peachy. But if they said $20.99 monthly or something like that, I'll be like,
but I'm glad you're on that side, because I'm on the flip side. I'm on the flip side of I would mind a subscription probably for certain things, not everything, but I think that's where we're going anyway. I don't mind a subscription situation because that makes it digest a little bit easier. So for instance, I'm thinking about Slate plugins. Slate's $14.99 a month. If Slate says we're bringing it to the iPad, I'm lit. I'm like, man, I'm already in there.
Slate
just
gotta be
light
active,
me up,
though.
man. Just gonna bring
and it's gonna be an additional $14.99 a month. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna
If they
it's a
have to
different
grandfather
do
you
it like
platform.
in.
that.
Yeah,
And that's
it's a
that,
different
but
platform,
but it's just like Netflix though. I mean, you pay your subscription
and it works
on
on all your
to
devices.
Netflix each month. You can
And
just
it's
log
on
in.
all your devices
Yeah,
though.
It's on all
yeah.
your devices. And that's what I'm saying. I think that's what's going to end up becoming the solution
Yeah.
for a lot of these companies. And that's why you saw Waves make that big thing a few
Oh,
weeks
they
ago.
tried.
They tried it. They tried it. They're still
They tried.
there. They're still there. They still got the subscription in place, but what they jumped the gun. They misread their audience. They thought the audience was ready for it and they weren't. But I'm telling you, that's where it's going to end up going. That's the only way as a company, because I'm speaking from a developer company side, because most of us are looking at what we're going to have to invest in to get this. First off,
Mhm.
development is not cheap. I've told my story 1,000 times. The reason I became a developer is because I wanted to hire a developer to do like plugins for
Yeah.
me, and he wanted to charge me 100 bands to get that
Yeah,
done. And I was like, for this? Oh no, bro, I'm about to go watch this 9-hour
yeah.
tutorial
Let me
on
figure this
C++,
out.
and
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
coding.
about
bro.
to figure this out myself
You
because I'm
taught
not
yourself
giving you
coding in
anything.
6 months.
I did, bro. That's why I left Loop Community. I left Loop Community so I can learn how to code.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
bro.
And
Somebody
and
said,
that's a bigger opportunity in itself
It
because
is.
now you have people, sound designers turn developers.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
for real, for real.
That's an entirely new bag. If you can do both,
I'm coming. I'm coming for that bag soon.
oh, bro, I
man,
mean,
Don't worry about it.
whatchamacallit, Rumpler already got it fired up for creators now.
They
You
do.
can make your own plugin on
You can.
Rumpler
yep,
right now. I
Yeah,
yep.
and
mean,
the Maze sampler, it's a ton of way, and then of course YouTube University. Even for we dropping all kind of gems. It's only what 27 of y'all watching, so y'all getting the juice anyway. So like there's even for development for iOS, take a look at Audio Kit. There's
yeah,
Audio
Oh yeah.
Kit. I know you
Oh,
probably know about that.
I've been on Audio Kit for so long. I've done a lot of. I'm not even gonna say that. Well, I've done a lot of behind the scenes help
Yeah,
for some Audio Kits apps.
yeah,
From beta testing to sound design, and I really rock with their passion for the iOS community as far as like
yeah,
throwing things out for free, right?
yeah,
Or just their software to be able to
yeah,
develop it, right?
yeah. I
Um,
agree.
you got, and this is why I was trying to explain to you. I'm willing to. I've seen that. I've seen the developer side, and I'm willing to sacrifice how it looks and feels on screen for how it performs. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
if you go and look at Logic Remote, look at the knobs and the sliders on that mixer
Oh
versus
yeah,
the
it's
knobs
better.
and
oh,
the
it's cold. It's
sliders,
one. It makes you feel like you're using Logic.
right? But is it making the music on your iPad?
No.
If you have those graphics on your iPad doing the Logic Pro for iPad, it's gonna stutter. Even on a 64 gig, you know what I mean? Like regular iPad, it's gonna stutter,
So
it's
even
gonna
looking at this,
crash every
I
time.
typed in Logic Pro and it didn't even Logic for iPad didn't even pop up. It's the
See?
same vibes. They still
Yeah,
ain't got it propagated yet.
it's
But
not
either way,
propagated. But yeah, like I do. No, I feel what you're saying, Brandon, in terms of sound quality, performance quality versus the. It's almost like in Final Cut when you decide to do better quality versus performance. I
Perform,
don't
yeah,
yeah,
know if you ever met.
exactly.
It's like that kind of sort of thing. It's like, okay, if you want the better performance, then you're going to take a hit on the quality. It's not going to look
Exactly.
sharp, and.
yeah. But I
Or
So
don't
in your
understand
editing.
why couldn't they give us this? Like looking at Logic Remote, pulling up Logic Remote. Like if you were able to do this with Logic Remote,
Because it takes RAM to run
yeah,
those types of plugins and
yeah,
animations and
I
all of
mean
that
I
stuff.
get it. But
You know what I'm
they
saying?
did a this is I think this is what a lot of us were expecting.
I
They
was.
Again, it's
gave
all
I'm
about
not
they
gonna
gave
managing
you
cap.
the sound
expectations.
quality over the images the pretty
Yeah.
animations. They gave you an
Yeah,
So yeah,
amazing
it's
library
ugly,
versus
but
trying to
it's
give
gonna
you
be. It sounds good.
a pretty screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, convenience always trumps practicality at the end of the day. I'm
Yeah.
not mad at it. Again, I
And that's
understand.
and that's the world of iOS.
Yeah,
That's the word.
that's the world.
That exact phrase, that exact sentiment is exactly what you're getting with iOS music
It's
production.
the convenience
Convenience
over practicality.
over
Yeah,
practicality.
yeah,
It's
I
being able
agree.
to take this to the toilet and finish it because you on deadline versus, you know what I'm saying? you on deadline versus I
Yeah.
gotta sit here and get this done, but I'm hurting. I got the BGs. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sit through this, but you know,
Not the
or you know
BGs.
what I'm saying,
The
or
BGs.
being at your kids' games or
Yeah,
recitals or whatever, and you waiting in the parking lot for your wife at
come on.
Target, being able
Hey,
to, it's that
I ain't gonna
convenience
hold you.
factor.
That's clutch.
I text John at like 12:30 a.m.
You did.
I was like, bro, it's actually fire because I can literally catch an idea and be like,
Yep.
shoot,
Yeah.
Exactly.
boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
save, boom.
On the go.
All right, I'm
And
good. What
that's
was you saying,
been the
babe?
culture of it all. That's been the
Yeah.
culture of it all since, especially for me, being able to do some here, take it on the go, do some on the go, bring it back here. That's been the
Yep.
Yeah.
culture of it all since 2012 for me. And
Dang.
so now that
Yeah.
we have these new family members coming in, new ideas being brought to it, it's like, all right, welcome. Sit
Yep.
down,
Yep.
forget everything you know about desktop,
Yep.
and understand, you know what I'm saying? Learn the lingo.
Yeah.
True.
Learn the lingo.
True. You got to. It's learning a new language. It's learning. Like I think you said that yesterday when we was talking, Jan. You was like, "Yeah, man, I'm finna have to go in the shed." What did you say? You said, I can't remember how you said it, but you was talking about basically I got to learn a new DAW.
Oh yeah, I said no. I said no. I got to go for the deep dive. I was like,
Deep
I,
dive.
I I had to go for the deep dive yesterday and watch. Shout out to Music Tech Help guy. He had an hour
Mhm.
long video, and I sat there for an hour and watched his presentation because it's like Brandon said, I have to learn a new language now. Like
Mhm.
we all know how to speak. We use our voice naturally, but how do you speak this other language?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I had to learn how to, like he was saying, I was like, oh, okay. Like there are certain things like John was the gripe with the pinch to zoom on the trackpad.
Yeah.
And I was watching my guy yesterday and I was just watching him thoroughly. He had a 3-chord fold, pencil, touch, and
Mm,
trackpad. 3-chord
yeah.
fold. Certain functions, he uses the pencil because it's more accurate in terms of drawing certain things,
True.
automations, like all kinds of stuff. So he's like, it's better to use the pencil for this plugin.
Yeah.
And this plugin, it's better to use your finger. And to do this command, it's better to use your keyboard. So that's what I learned about the whole thing is it is a 3-chord fold. It's about, like he's saying, it's about the convenience of my plugin is right here, tap,
Yeah.
opposed to where's my mouse,
Where's my
click.
mouse?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's
So
it's definitely a
Scroll,
faster workflow. Like you
zoom.
said, that convenience thing and stuff. And I like this comment speaks a good volume too. And where I was kind of thinking about where we're going with this. I think this is changing the game by them bringing by them even Apple throwing a V1 at us on this, starter kit vibe to us on this. Is changing the game and it's going to push all of us as developers, as companies to up our game. Like me and Jan, we was talking, I think I text you too, Brandon. I was like, yeah, it's time. Like it's go time on the product side of
yeah,
things. You know what I mean? For us to start making sure our products are compatible for iOS now. It's got me thinking. I'm doing the research. I'm researching in the audio kit now. I'm trying to see how I can port this thing over, how I can go from AUV2 to AUV3 and get peculiar sounds in there. And what is that going to look like? How are we going to package that? What is that? So I know if I'm thinking about it as a micro developer, that's
That's
what
what I
I
was
am.
about to say. Yeah.
The
yeah.
big the big fish are already they're probably thinking about this 6 months ago. And I think that's what the method to the madness is around all these subscriptions. Waves was trying to convert their user base to subscription because they want to push everybody to iPad. They want to make this, but it has to make sense. And my favorite phrase is, if it don't make sense, it don't make dollars.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah,
don't. And
man.
so they got to get it. It's got to make sense, because people ain't going to 20 with waves. for the iPad, you're not finna 29, 29, 29, 29, 29, 20. You're not finna buy the diamond bundle. You're not finna buy that. You're not finna buy Mercury for your iPad. Keep it a buck. Just
Nah,
keep it a
it's
buck.
no. I would rather pay 15 a month
Exactly.
subscription to get everything in terms
To get
for
everything.
iPad compatibility. Yeah, but I think even to Brandon's point, I'm kind of just thinking about everything in retrospect now. Uh, Bolo, the producer, he made a beat yesterday too using the iPad, and he actually pulled up gospel musicians,
Yep.
the Rompler joint,
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
and it was a starter kit version of the desktop version for
Yeah.
sure. Like it's
Yeah.
Yep.
definitely dumbed down, and I've been
But the
saying
sound,
that.
Yeah, the
But
sound
it
quality.
sounds
Yeah.
it's great. It's when he hit the patch, I was like, oh no, that's
It
the
was it.
patch.
oh, that's
You
it.
know, that's the
Yeah.
patch.
It.
But I was telling my dad this even because I was telling John that my dad predicted this. He was there. I'm telling you, son, Pro Tools and all them, they're gonna be on the iPad, son. I'm trying to tell you. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, they're not gonna be able to put all that megabytes and gigs and all that stuff.
No, it's
And
coming.
here I am now, actually just doing a video using iPad where I stripped down my studio
Yeah.
just to this. But I was telling him, my pushback to him was, and he's experienced this himself. When you use an iPad app, it's always a point something down version of the desktop version.
Yeah.
It's always been like that
Yeah.
from jump. If you use Chrome, if you use whatever, it's
Yeah.
always going to be a condensed pocket-sized version. You're not going to have all the features. It's not going to be
Yeah.
able to do the same thing. So I think with this, it's a for iPad. I think it's Pro. I
Mhm.
think in terms of for pro desktop users,
Yeah, they're gonna be pissed off.
I don't even think it's even safe to have the same conversation
Yeah.
about a desktop app and an iPad app
Yeah.
because they serve two different purposes. Like,
Yeah,
Two
and
different.
2 different people. Yeah, we're
yeah,
talking to 2 different avatars at the end of
Yep.
the day.
yeah,
And so well, really 3 because you have total iOS ecosystem cats that are just bought in like you, Brandon, to just this is my bag. This is where I'm at.
Yep.
Henny and guys like you to just we've been here.
Mhm.
Welcome. Thank you for coming over here. But
Yep.
we've been here for a minute. Like all y'all acting brand new right now. Like give it a little bit. You're gonna be all right in a little bit.
Yep.
And then you got the desktop users, the guys that are just straight. All I've been doing is just doing desktop. That's just me. And that's all it is. And now I'm trying to figure out what this thing is over here. And then you got the hybrid people that have been doing both, a little bit of both for years. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And so, the those 2 people versus just the desktop only guys are going to be like, it's going to be a different conversation with no matter who
yeah.
you talk to.
I think there's an intersection point that's blowing my mind as I'm even thinking about this. The intersection for us is imagine because this is going to happen now.
Yeah.
I can track the fact that my full blown X32 can
Right.
connect to my iPad
Right.
directly.
That's
I
crazy that
can
that's
track,
blowing your mind.
bro, I can track drums on my iPad. 16,
Man.
32 tracks of drums on my iPad. So what that's telling me is for basics and stuff, I can literally walk into a full session with my pad, bro, and plug into the studio's interface.
Again, I say, welcome.
Bro, like,
Welcome to the
dog,
party.
like,
Look, so when it changes for me, I'm gonna pull this up. This is, hey, look, we gotta keep the lights on, in case y'all interested. Let me pull this up real quick. This is this is where it kind of changes for me. This is our gospel mixing template. Hold on, we was talking about Restream before for the
That's
joint.
gonna be crazy.
For the joint having. Let me get it up on the screen so you guys can see this. We gotta there it is. No, I need the one for Logic. That's the one for Pro
I'm
Tools.
about to go cop that right now.
Let me find. There it is. Boom. Let me just I gotta get this up on the screen for you guys. This is the gospel mixing template for Logic. And it works. Like I didn't have to do anything. Like here you have a full blown mixing template
I
on
don't see the QR
your
code.
iPad. I'm gonna do this in a couple of weeks because we got Memorial Day, because we do mixed Mondays. In case you guys don't know, we do this here live on the channel, do those on Mondays. I'm not doing it on Memorial Day because it's Memorial Day. The only thing I'm mixing on Memorial Day is going to be some barbecue sauce. So I'm not going to be mixing anything on Monday. But Monday after that, I'm probably going to do a live where I actually go through this template and mix something directly on here. But it's all here. Like, I'm literally able to pull this up, and I got my plugins. I got all of this stuff here, right in here. Not only that, I got my buses. I got all of my routing. Everything works just like it would work on the iPad. Now, what that workflow is going to look like, that's what we're going to find out, because I'm moving into a touch-based workflow versus a versus like a, mouse. But I got my mouse, but it's going to be a different workflow. But the fact that I could pull up a set of stems, a set of tracks, drop them here into my template, and I can actually full on mix a record like here on my iPad.
On the toilet, bro.
On the toilet with my
On the
AirPods.
toilet, bro.
Which, like,
Yeah,
that's going to change the game. I mean, I got everything in here.
What I don't like right now currently, this is the KVAT, as it's like for every victory there's a con.
Yeah.
You can't drag and drop multiple files in at once. You have to single-handedly drop every file one by one.
Yeah, that's gonna suck.
I mean,
that's definitely gonna suck.
I'm hoping with it, and this is just the second day of his existence. It has not reached
obviously. Yeah.
Hopefully that gets updated soon.
Yeah, that sounds like an update. It needs to be. And also being able to access your own samples within the browser itself.
Yeah.
So you don't have to use files or anything like that. Like, and be able to preview, do one shots all in the native browser like you can on the desktop. We need that. Like, that update needs to be like next week.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, if you guys wanna check out this template, it works fully on the iPad. You can go ahead and hit that QR code. But what you can do, you can screenshot that for now. Screenshot it, and then you can tap on it in your camera roll, and it'll take you to this page where you can actually get this template. If you're interested in doing some kind of mixing on the iPad, you can definitely do that. Just hit that QR code. It's disappearing in 3,
and
2,
it's on sale.
1, bam, it's gone.
Bam.
All right, so you guys check that out. I think it's super dope. I think this represents some great things that's going to be ahead in the next few months, next few years. Apple definitely came out swinging, and they definitely just basically took a dump on everybody's front yard. And it's going to force the hand of all of these other companies. I think, who y'all think is next? I have my thought processes. I think Ableton might be the next to jump on the
I was actually going to say Studio One, because they already have a remote app.
Yeah, Studio One might be
Ableton
next, and they already on subscription.
Oh, you said Ableton already has an app.
They got an app, but it's not like Ableton.
It's not like, full. Yeah, it's not full Ableton.
I'm talking about the next person to bring the next full on DAW. I think Pro Tools is going to be late to the game. Pro Tools is going to be the last.
Yeah,
I think Studio One is next, just because it's a younger company and they can adapt a little bit faster.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll tell you what,
I think that, and they're already touch optimized. You said who?
Image Line.
Image Line?
FL.
Yeah, FL. I can see
they've had their app on both platforms for a while, so they're pretty familiar with what it takes to have that.
Yeah, FL. I can see FL doing it too. FL, Cubase has already got Cubases. They've already threw their hat in the ring years ago. So Cubase might jump in. Yeah, they might jump in. But
Roland has Zen Beats.
Yeah. Studio One, I think I can lean more towards Studio One.
I think I got a feeling they're gonna be next, dude.
Yeah,
Their
because
infrastructure.
they're already touch optimized too. Like if you're on like on my Raven screen joints, like I can enable touch and I can actually control all of Studio One with my Ravens touch base on my Mac, and I use the Ravens to actually control Studio One. So I could definitely see them being like the pinch to zoom, all of that stuff works just like it would here in Logic. So I could probably see them, like you said, I probably could see them jumping in.
They're the young. If I'm not mistaken, they should be compared to the others. I think they're the youngest DAW.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're probably like a little bit over 10 years old, maybe
If
like
that,
2010,
yeah.
11. Yeah.
So they're already thinking with a different approach, like
And they already got the subscription base in there.
baked in.
And so they could easily just say, yep, Studio One's now on iPad now. Go and see. And that's the method with the madness. That's why Apple flipped the switch and started putting M1s in iPads and started doing all of that, because they're trying, and they got away from Intel and they forced all of the developers, plug-in developers, DAW developers, all of them, they forced everybody to support M1 architecture with their app.
It was a little promise note.
Yep.
That's really what it was. It was a little promise note.
That's what it is. So now it makes sense. And then they say, all right, now they're probably following an internal roadmap. They got an outline. They just don't, companies as at Apple size just don't do stuff. They got a roadmap. They're like, okay, we gotta start tilting this in our direction. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna switch away from Intel. We're gonna give us our own architecture, M1. Then we're gonna force all the developers, all of the plugin companies, everybody who does anything with our platform to conform to M1, to the M series, to conform to our chips. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop Logic and Final Cut, on there. We're just gonna port it over, and that's gonna force everybody. That's gonna force Pro Tools. That's gonna force everybody. I think within the next, I don't know.
I would say in the next 2 years.
We're gonna see everybody.
I only say 2 years. I only say 2 years because how long it takes for you to port that. I mean, if they pour millions of dollars into it, then maybe
they're gonna have to.
Yeah. My question for the both of you guys is, with the new M system, do you think it's going to take as long for developers to upgrade like it did on Intel?
No.
Because
I think the upgrade. Well, either one of y'all give me y'all spill on that.
Well, I was gonna say I don't think so, because everybody was already, every time, even like the newer operating systems come out for iOS, the developers are usually ahead of the game. I think that they get the notice. I don't know if
WWDC every year we get, as developers, we get like slap, like in a few weeks, they about to slap us with everything iOS 17, everything, whatever the next Mac OS, is going to be.
From a business standpoint, if you forward thinking, then you're already changing your architect to fit that.
I don't think it's going to take. I don't think the operating system jumps is going to be as much as a problem as it was in the past. Like
technically,
if we're
everybody's
gonna,
ready.
Everybody's been ready. They didn't think that the market.
I think it's a dollars and cents thing. It's
just
like, how do we make sure? Because again, when you move to iPad, because like even that full fab filter bundle, it's $130 on the App Store, but they sell that for what on the desktop? They sell that for a grip, like maybe like $1,000 for, let me see, fab filter.
I was waiting on. I actually meant to ask Dale. Dale just chimed in. He said, not audio companies. There's still a lot of plugins not ready for M1 native. So that was but that's the thing though. Like if everyone is gonna go subscription, if we're gonna go subscription, I don't mind it if it's whenever the update happens and Apple announces, hey, we're on iOS such and such, getting ready to drop in the fall. I expect if I'm paying $20-$30 a month,
Yeah.
I should just be able to go to that operating system and just move on with my life.
With no
Exactly.
worries. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have
none of
to
That's
the
the
really
only
back
way it
stuff
makes
up.
sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Now
that's
if it's a la
that's the
carte,
only way it makes sense.
if I'm still buying them a la carte, all right, fine. I'll wait.
I think that
Yeah.
that's what excited me so much about, because I had mixed feelings. I'm not a fan of subscription based anything,
Hmm.
but that's what excited me about the subscription with Logic,
Exactly.
because it
Yeah.
ensures my support and
Yep.
updates.
And updates. Yep.
So
Yep. And it locks you in or what have you. With that, I think it's gonna make sense. But that fab filter on the desktop, that same thing that you pay $130 for on the iPad is $900 for the desktop. That same bundle.
and
The
again,
exact
that's
same
why the
bundle.
culture of iPad producing is, I said, be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful what we pay for right off the box, because if it's not going to deliver what we want it
Yeah.
to do, then we don't
Yeah.
need to be showing
Yeah,
people
and
that
so
we
that's
robust.
what I think that's what the companies that because they all got because if they updated for M1, like Slate, Waves, we take those as a couple of examples, and of course Avid, um, um, and a couple of other the Studio One personas, they have their products work on M1 architecture, the same architecture that's in the iPad. They work on ARM. They will
Mhm.
work on the devices with some time and some money put into development, they can easily push that and port that over
Yeah,
to and go for it at any point. I guarantee what the pause is two things. Is one, they're like, we just gonna try to see if we can wait this out. I know that's what a lot of developers are saying. Apple is slowly merging iOS. They say they're not, but every update brings them closer and closer to one
Yep.
unified operating system. So
Yep.
there's some companies I'm betting, willing to bet that they're trying to wait it out. Like we're gonna wait as long as we can to see if Apple just makes it easy enough for us to where we don't have to do anything, and they merge the operating systems, and now all our plugins and all of our software just works by de facto. And then the other half of people are saying, nah,
there's money to
like
be
I
made
don't know
right
if it's
now.
worth it yet. I don't know if it's worth it to devalue, like take like Omnisphere, because nobody's gonna pay like $500 for an iPad app.
No, I'm
You're
not.
gonna have a
That's
you're gonna
what
have
I
a
was going to ask you, as far as
yeah.
virtual instruments. Who do you guys think are going to be next?
I
Because
think native.
you got Roland that's in the game,
Yeah,
Moog is already in the game, Yamaha.
yeah.
Uh,
Arturia just threw their hat in the game. Yeah,
who else?
Arturia, they threw their hat in the game.
Arturia, yeah, UVI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Korg is already. You got these big names already in the game. Who do
Yeah.
you guys predict is going to be next?
I would love to see native. I'd love to see native jump on next. If
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 Nate
native
native
comes,
jumps on, bro.
we have to
is over.
have external support for,
I saw a listing a few years ago. This was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They were hiring iOS developers. Like they put out a
ooh,
big memo, like maybe like this was pre-pandemic for like they were looking for iOS developers. So they've been working on something. They're cooking something. It just ain't ready,
Bro.
maybe not ready to come out the oven yet, but they're cooking something. But if native comes,
No, they. I think native is gonna jump on it because Arturia was first. If you
yeah,
actually look on the Apple site, they actually support Arturia stuff and Novation. Novation was
yeah.
front in line
Hmm.
with as far as compatibility. So that's why I think native is gonna jump in it, because it's like, nah, because we just wanna,
Hmm.
I think it's
yeah,
just the flex of it all. Like, nah, bro, Novation and Arteria already in there, and y'all
Yeah,
ain't say nothing to us. Nah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
uh,
Like,
I can see that.
I think it's just the flex of it that, for compatibility, it's got to be native. I don't see
yeah.
Eric and them. I think Eric
No,
and all of
Eric
them
and
are
them is
watching
hard.
the joints like this. Oh, look at
Hmm.
them over there. That's cute.
Yep.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
gonna
That's
keep holding on because they got enough of a desktop support community to keep going, and
yeah,
their product. Omnisphere don't even put their stuff on sale. Like Spectrasonics
yeah.
yeah.
has
They got the
never
Apple
done
approach
a
actually.
sale.
That's
Like they don't
crazy.
do that. You're not getting Black Friday for Omnisphere. You just not. You're not getting a
I just
Black
thought
Friday
about
deal
that.
off of it. Like they hold the line on their product cost. They don't do that, but Native and all these other companies, we as the Rev and as me and Yam be saying, they last chance,
Yeah.
us to death on these, especially Waves. They last chances to death. But I could see if Native does it, I think that's where it's better. But it's probably going to be somebody else. I don't think Native is going to move too quick. I don't know, but I don't know.
Well, like I said,
That
there
would
are
be
already some iOS developers on here that are pretty parallel
yeah.
to the flagship
Yeah.
stuff that y'all
Who
already
are some of
hear.
your favorites? Because you've been in the game. Who's some if somebody's just jumping into iOS right now, they just downloaded Logic, paid the subscription. What are those top 5 that you say that they should go ahead and get as far as virtual instruments?
Let me look.
Oh, he's gonna pull it up.
But that's the thing, bro. Like, as he's looking with Native, Native is copying the whole arcade approach right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once you
I was
go
just thinking about them. That's why I
once you
couldn't
go
think.
cloud based, it
Yeah,
changes everything. It's
yeah.
like the instruments are provided to you from the
The
cloud.
cloud.
Like, you can't actually have the instrument and own it. It's like you
Yeah,
got to have Wi-Fi, and everything is provided from the cloud.
yep.
That already sets the precedence for iPad in my opinion. I don't know about the coding and all of that, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just that concept alone is like, I don't see why they couldn't, get
Yeah,
compatible.
just get in there. Yeah, Output might now. While you just mentioned them, they might be
Output.
the next. They might have next. What's your
Yeah,
5, bro?
you got so you mentioned output. There's a
Lift you up. Okay, if you need to
there's a
press, if you need to pin that, we can pin it and come back if you want to address that.
there's a company that does something very similar. You know, Soundware.
Okay.
Soundware.
They do Octane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So they have another plugin that's very similar to the Output Arcade.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite developers, I gotta go. I'm gonna go in alphabetical order since that's how it's showing up. So I'm gonna go Audio Kit.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They got some
Yeah.
really dope secret dope gems. They were doing this
Mm.
limited time series for a while. So but that was dope.
Mm.
Gospel Musicians is killing the game, has always been
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
killing the game.
Yeah, for iPad for years. Yeah.
Yeah. Jamal's
Yeah,
he's first in class on that stuff.
Neo
yeah,
Soul
Boy.
Keys, MK
He been
Sensation,
doing that since
Mason
2011,
Solution,
12.
all that.
He's way
MK
ahead of me.
Sensation is a must have. That's like
Yeah.
17 gigs though, but
Mm-hmm.
the libraries show up. They show up and they deliver.
Yeah, we
Bolo
gotta
pulled it
we
up.
gotta do a shout out to the GOAT for that for Jamal because
Oh, Jamal Hartwell is my guy, man.
he's on my guy from across the sky, big bro from across
Yeah,
the
straight
snow.
up.
This dude is
Yeah,
he's killing the game consistently for dang near 2 decades now, almost, from Neo
fact.
Soul Keys on up to where we are now. And he was first. I don't think he doesn't get his flowers for that. He was first to the iOS. Neo Soul Keys popped up probably around 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range. He
Yeah.
saw it before anybody else, and he ported that stuff over as quick as he could. And
Yep.
he's been in the game, so I definitely give him flowers for that. He's definitely been like a big inspiration that drove me into developing my own products and stuff like that. And it's been there even as a big brother that helped guide me through. So yeah, like definitely go support that gospel musicians and continue.
Gospel music. If you see any, like even if when you see any iPads on stage,
Yep.
especially like urban music, you
Oh
Yeah.
always
yeah.
see gospel musicians
I've
software on
noticed that. Like I said, if Bolo is pulling it up of all
Mm-hmm.
people for trap
there.
beats,
Yep.
Yep.
he said, "Yeah, I'm going to gospel musicians." I was like, "What?"
Yep. Yep.
Dang.
Yep.
It's
These are
like, yo, like,
Grammy
yeah.
Award winning songs that have his sounds in it. So
Oh, facts. He's smacking.
more I'm gonna go with Elliott Garage. They got some dope stuff.
Mhm.
Imaginando. I like
Okay.
there's a it's called I don't know if it's frames or forms.
Okay.
That is very similar to what Arturia is doing with their pigments.
Mm.
I like Clev Grand.
Mm.
MSX Audio, MSX Audio. Their stuff from effects to their chompler. They
So
have it's like a Rompler sampler
Mm.
trigger.
Yeah.
Um, what else? There's so many others. There's so many. Moog is already doing some dope stuff. I gotta mention my boy Henny. He has an app out called House Mark II.
Mm.
It's a Rose piano app.
Oh,
Um,
dope.
yep. And you got Jacob Hack with his app
oh heck yeah.
Agonizer.
Yeah, I
Mm.
remember that.
That's a dope app. I
Knock
like the
is on
Rolly stuff.
Oh yeah,
Knock
rolling, yeah.
is on iPad now.
What's that?
Knock,
Oh,
decap.
Knock. Yeah. Yep. Decaps Knock.
Dang.
I
Um,
was like, dude, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah.
in
And
there on that.
I think those would be my top for right now. And of course some UVI stuff and Sugar Bites.
Oh
So,
yeah, man.
yeah.
Those are some good stuff. That's all some good stuff. So I definitely think we're on a good roadmap with this stuff. Logic, Apple made a. I keep wanting to just call them Logic because I tend to separate. I can tend to forget that Apple owns Logic, so Logic just exists as its own thing. Um, Apple made a big statement with this. I went on ahead day one, minute one, literally just I didn't even do the monthly. I just said, no, just go on 50, just go on
Yep,
49.99 me.
same.
Just go ahead, get me in there. Here's my face.
Yeah.
Face
Basically.
ID, just here you go. Give me
Yeah.
go on 49.99 me, because I see the value in it, and what it's going to bring to the table, for the game or what have you. So I'm excited about where this is going to go. I think we're gonna I think it's up from here, and it's gonna push these other companies to get on board. And within 2 years, the next 2 to 3 years, uh, your video, you probably gonna have 150K in the next 2 weeks, Brandon, with all your iOS videos.
I hope
Bruh.
so.
You about to
That
get
would be
lit.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So and speaking of, you guys, make sure you go subscribe to both my bros, Jan Hunter Jr. and Brandon Rico. Is it just Brandon Rico on YouTube?
Yeah, Brandon Rico Simpson.
Yeah, go check them guys out on YouTube. They got the GOAT content on all of this stuff. Logic, Jan, he already told y'all what's coming later on today. He's dropping out
Yeah,
some
yeah,
stuff.
we're gonna be
His
live
take on it.
tonight. We
Yeah,
uploading tonight, bro. Like me and
yeah.
yeah, Brandon and I, we gonna be cousins now because this
So
Facts.
the app has unified us as
there you go.
as creators. It is unified. like
Definitely.
like
Definitely.
Logic on the iPad. Hey, what's
Oh,
up,
it's
Brandon?
crazy.
How you feeling?
Yeah, man.
Y'all done met at the
yeah,
cookout.
man.
You done
Right.
met at the cookout.
Cousin.
So it's time. It's go time.
yeah,
It's
How you
go
bro.
time.
how your
Cause
mom and them?
Yeah, it's go time. I think this is gonna be dope. I hope you guys are as excited as we are. Like, I think it's definitely gonna get better. This is starter kit. This is 1.0. And by the time this time next year, I think we're gonna be looking at a
oh,
totally
bro,
different app.
next year,
Yep.
this time next year, bro.
Yeah. And,
Man,
and
I
and
don't
looking at
know.
how Apple moves, man, I'm thinking the next three to 6 months.
Probably so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
They
are
about to have an
definitely
influx of Logic
getting
Cash too. Yep, they about
we
that because I
definitely
mean, you
that
think
part.
about it, like hundreds of millions of people own iPads, and if just 1%, if you got 100 million people that have an iPad, and if just 1%, that's a million people
Yeah.
hit that 49.99 button,
What I'm
bro.
actually
That's 50.
really
What is it? 50
anticipating
million?
is the hardware catching up with what they just did.
Yeah,
That part. That's what I'm saying with native, like making boards that what I'm saying, that trigger that, and some sort of I think Logic is missing what Ableton has, which is the
yeah.
push. We don't Logic
Yeah.
Yeah, we
doesn't
don't have a set
have
logic.
It doesn't.
I just thought about that.
They
we
don't,
don't
bro.
have like a
There's
controller
none. There used to
hardware.
be the Logic Control
I
years
think I know
ago.
when it was Apple G, when Apple G
Yeah,
owned it.
yeah.
Well, that
It
makes
was
sense
a
because
Logic
Apple G
Control.
would make the hardware, but
Yeah,
nah, we
yeah,
don't
but
have
it just
like
fell through.
Imagine that though.
that's
Ooh.
Man,
that's
that would
what
be.
I've been waiting for,
You know
along
what?
with
That was
Logic
a joint.
11.
There was a joint years ago that was perfect for it. I almost bought it several years ago. It was made by Tascam. It was like a 24 track. Um, it was a 24 track control surface, full size mixer vibe.
Mm.
That I'm about to look that up, bro, because that's gonna bother me. It
Imagine
was
a
a full
controller.
size mixer joint
bro.
by Tascam. Hold on, I'm gonna find that joint.
A Logic controller, dog, like a
It was
push.
made for Logic. It was legit made for Logic.
Man,
Because
Hold on,
right
I'm about to
now, like
find it.
we
Give
got
me
to go through
like
hoops to get the push to be compatible with Logic and stuff like that. Like the
yeah, yeah,
mapping and Logic with it's a pain in the butt. Like I don't.
yeah.
If we had a
And
joint
I
that
even thought
literally,
about, instances where like and I said it in somebody else's live stream about the Magic Keyboard. Imagine a Magic Keyboard that flips into a Magic Keyboard, like a MIDI
yeah,
keyboard,
oh, bro,
exactly.
that would be totally
straight
cold.
from Apple. You talking about Logic control? You talking about transport control buttons and skip typing hotkeys? What if that stuff was already on board on a keyboard for the iPad?
Yeah, that would be
It was
wild.
this joint. It was this joint right here. Um, this joint right here by Tascam, the US 2400. It was a
Mm.
full
Oh
size
man,
mixer, and they discontinued it like, man, probably like well over a decade ago, since there's any other pictures of it. But it was made for Logic. Like it legit just like connected up with Logic, like, and you could control all of the faders, all of that stuff like that. You had the mute solo. It was like, this joint came out in 2005. That's when
man,
that joint came out. It was out around that time, and it was made for Logic, bro. Like it was. I remember it when it came out because I was like, ooh, because it gave you that. I always wanted that vibe, in the studio where you had like a actual controller that looked like a SSL or looked like,
Right.
what I mean? Like you could have a MIDI controller that looked like a legit mixer,
yeah.
but you were still all in the box, but you had something that made you feel like you were out the box
The
when
closest thing
mixing or
I've
producing.
seen to that is the Key Lab by Arteria.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That works so
exactly.
well with Logic.
yeah.
That's actually the Key Lab Mark II.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now the best integrated control surface for Logic, not control surface, but just controller period for Logic is the Nectar panorama joint.
Yeah.
You can
That,
actually see the I got videos on my main channel of that, but you can actually see the patches. It integrates with Logic patch names. You can see it, and you can literally do like a non, look at.
That's what I need.
You don't have to look at
I
it.
had
It's
to
like
check that out.
machine. Like you can operate most of Logic's functions from the joint. So that would be a cold company for Apple to acquire and like say,
Yeah.
"Oh,
yeah.
let
Oh,
me see what you're
And
doing."
make
yeah.
that,
Apple, if you're
make a
listening.
make a
Yeah,
joint with a LED screen with the
yeah.
Ooh,
DSP.
That's how the panorama is. That joint. Let's see the Nectar.
Like, bruh, like especially
I
like
tell you
pulling up
who.
alchemy, and you can see a little alchemy, little GUI on the board, and as you tweaking it, you can see the pretty much. I want a Native Instruments controller the same way for Logic, bro.
There
This
you
one
go.
does it.
There
Like
Actually,
you
that's
this
what I
one
go.
want.
does.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
that's
That's
what I
exactly
want,
what
bro.
I'm like.
This one, it does. It actually does that. It has an LCD screen on it. Let me see if I can get it to zoom in. We'll just go to the
I feel
website,
like
whatever
you
it
know
is.
what? I think I know who has that. I think my boy Henny has that.
Yeah, I got one. I got one back here in the studio. It's in the box. I hadn't even opened it up. That's because I got 10,000 MIDI controllers. This joint done opened up Amazon, bro. What are we doing? That's all I'm trying to do is zoom in on the joint. So you can see.
I did see that review you did actually.
I gotta
Yeah.
check that out.
That joint, it's a graphical user interface for on the screen for Logic. Like you can see the patch names, you can see classic EP, whatever,
Man, what
whatever,
am I
whatever.
doing with the Arteria? Man, I should have got that.
It's
Same
like
here, man.
700. It's
You
like
know
let's
who
say what's the
else
price
I
on
would
this?
love to see Apple tap on the shoulder and be like, "Hey,
How
let's
much
work."
they
Yeah,
want for it?
400
400?
bucks. Yeah, for the 49 key.
I
It's
would
Yeah,
dope.
like to
bro. Like
see.
control that type of control. Oh heck yeah! I think I saw. I did see that.
I would like
I
to see
did see that.
teenage engineering and Apple team up.
There you go. See, look at that right there. ES2.
Oh my god, it does.
No, it's got like direct integration. Like they talk to each other. Like you
You
can
know who
see.
almost did that? Akai
Yep.
with their VIP
With their
stuff.
VIP joint. Yep. I
That
remember
joint,
that.
that joint could have been so sweet, but it was just
I
inconsistent.
have
Now
my
they.
affiliate link up because I'm giving y'all, I'm just putting some
Ah,
stuff. I have my affiliate link up because I just put they don't tell her how much sales I just sent Amazon's way. It's
man.
all good though. It's
Yeah, man.
I'll
Now
put it in the description of the video
Akai is
after the fact.
focusing on the Akai software, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
The what is it? The One software, the MPC One software, whatever
Oh
it's
yeah.
called. That's what
Yeah.
they focused on.
I would love to see
Absolutely,
the
man.
teenage engineering and Apple team up though. That would be
Yeah. Oh, that would be
crazy.
cold.
That'd
That
be a
would be
crazy.
Well,
super cool.
speaking of teaming up, old boy from UA from Universal, they already contracted
hired
him a
him.
couple of months ago to
Yeah.
do some special plugins for
Yeah.
Logic.
Yeah. I remember seeing that. We need to talk about that on the next podcast because that's
Yeah,
Congrats,
they
bro.
got your boy. So we supposed to have some UAD quality coming in this mug.
I think
Whoa.
it's about to be crazy. It's about to be
Congrats on
crazy.
that, man.
Yeah,
Man.
he was the ex VP of engineering or something for UAD.
He
And,
did the AAX plugins for Pro Tools.
wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and they hired that dude. Yeah, they hired
Yeah,
that dude.
he's
So,
doing the new expansion plugins for Logic.
oh, it's gonna be
So
crazy. So yeah, this 1.0. So last question, and we'll get out of here. What do you think? Because I saw somebody say it in a comment earlier. Do you think that this is a setup for Logic 11? Do you think that
it
what they're
better
gonna
be.
do?
I
You think
can't
that they're
do
going to bring
another.
this same vibe over in Logic 11 and it's going to be no subscription? I mean, it's going to be subscription, like, because normally Apple practices with iOS. And then if it goes well in iOS, they bring those features over into the main desktop. Like they practice with a whole bunch of features in iMovie on iOS. And then when it went over good with the people on iOS, they started moving some of those features from iMovie into the main Final Cut. And then they
Final
did the
Cut,
same thing with GarageBand. They moved GarageBand features into Logic, but they started in GarageBand on the iPad. So you think that's where we're going with this? They're practicing,
Ooh.
and then they're gonna flip the script in a few months and be like, all right, yep, so Logic 11 and it's $99 a year, you know.
I
$10
would be
a month.
pissed and happy at the same time.
You know
I'd
what?
be
And that's
like,
I was gonna say that.
I don't
got
got my
mixed up.
wallet on me, but my phone is gonna have to do. I'm gonna be like,
Apple Pay. This man gonna be like,
Oh,
boop.
just scan it.
yeah, bro,
hurry
just
up.
scan it, man.
Hurry
Because
up.
I'm too invested. Like
Yeah.
every 99.99% of everything I've ever created has been in Logic. So it's like
Yeah.
if that DAW goes out, I'm screwed, like legit, because I got too much stock in it. But we need Logic 11, and we need upgraded Sonics, bro.
Yeah, I agree,
Oh
man.
my.
We need so much upgraded in Logic for real. But you know, like it's gonna be because they've been 10-point wanting us to death for the last decade. 10-point this,
my
10-point
God,
that,
bro.
10-point this. I'm like, when we gonna get 11? But I know once they do, I think that's what they're gonna do. But see, here's the question though, for you, Jan, specifically, if they go 11. Because I've contemplated this question. What if they go 11? It's $99 a month. It's $99 a month. Not a month, sorry, $99 a year.
Yeah. So 10 a
So you
month.
got to pay that $99 a year for Logic. Or maybe they do the full price. Maybe they do $199 a year. Like they Pro Tools us. They Studio One us for.
They go pro. Yeah, they go pro. Real pro.
Yeah, they go pro for you. And you got to pay that. And it's non-inclusive of your iOS thing. That's a separate thing. So now you got to pay $50 a year for Logic on the iPad and an additional $200 a year or $100 a year. Or either way, whatever that number is, even if it's another $50 a year, would you pay for both the iPad and for and
Yeah,
for desktop.
absolutely, I will pay because the
Yeah.
money that I'm gonna make
I was
from that,
there you
bro. Like
No
go.
like I
comparison.
Tax revenue.
said, I could like Brandon was saying, like you got the BGs and you're on the toilet, but you can still the fact that you still got up and running, like
Yeah,
Mhm.
it changes everything. So
I would definitely do it. I
like,
would do it
dude,
as well.
like this, like on my trip, like I'm going back home for a little bit for just for the summer. I
Mm,
borderline don't even need my laptop.
Mm.
Borderline
Mm.
because I got Final Cut on my iPad now. So editing so it's like dang. But shout out to Mary Spender. She made a very good point. She brought up a good question. She said, what's the point of having a laptop and an iPad if they're both portable? She
yeah,
said the number one thing that can fly past the radar is airplanes.
yep.
They
Mhm.
actually don't mind if you're on your iPad on the plane,
Oh
like
yeah,
even like during the
even on
takeoff.
takeoff. Yep,
Yeah,
Mhm.
your iPad is still fine. Laptop, you have to close that bad boy.
Close it.
you
Yep.
do.
So she was like, the iPad stands true of the true mobile device. Like what is really mobile in
Yeah,
2023? The pad, dog. Like I could literally produce. Like
Yep.
I got my MIDI controller, I got
Yep.
an interface, so I can plug in audio, vocals. I mean, writing sessions, catching a vibe. I mean,
yep.
yeah, I'm paying both. And then when I
And
come
both.
home and I'm ready to do my mixing and do my hardcore CPU, intensive third party plug-in stuff, I'm gonna throw in some Omnisphere. I'm gonna throw in some, after the fact. It's like
Yeah,
that's where that comes in. I think both are gonna become a necessity very quickly,
yeah.
especially if you're a traveling producer.
That's so
What I hope if they do that, if they go that route, which I think they're gonna go that route. I think it's
Yeah.
as Thanos would say, it's inevitable. I think
yeah.
they're gonna they're gonna go that route. If they do, I would love for Apple to build in their continuity features, that handoff. Imagine if it could be as transparent as AirDrop, like being
Yo.
able to switch from iPad to desktop. I'm talking like you pull up a synth on your iPad and you start playing it, and it's like, nah. And then you just
Brandon is pumped.
Yeah, because I've
you just
these
go
are
on the
my
desktop.
these have been my wishes since I want to say 2017. That's 2017. I've been
I want to
doing
Yeah.
see that, bro.
I've been- I was doing this stuff and I was wishing that I can copy a piece of audio here
Yeah,
and paste it on my iPad
yeah,
without AirDrop, without
Oh,
exporting, without, you know what I'm saying? They
yeah.
already
That
have
would be it.
like I said, it's the continuity factor. This is the statement that they made that we
Yeah,
already have Sidecar. We already have what's
yeah.
the other
yep.
protocol they have?
All of
We
those
already
joints.
have
Like if
these
they
things
make it
where they
like
all work
sidecar,
together.
if it makes it just like, I mean, I want it to be like where I pick up my, like, you know how it is with the desktop and the iPhone. Like if I pick up when I pick up my phone, I'm looking at my iMac right now. When I pick up my phone and I open up an app, that app shows up in my dock on my
Yeah.
Mac. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And
Yep.
it's like you could just literally pick up where you left. I'm talking about the text copies
Yes.
over the
Yep.
if they could do that with music, like I start playing a MIDI track, open up a MIDI track on my iPad and start playing something, and then Logic pops up in the dock on my Mac, and then I'm just able to click that, and literally the session just opens up, and then I can pick up where I left off and actually pull up Omnisphere, actually pull up the big dock.
Bro,
Bro,
it
yeah.
kind of
I
already
think
Look,
does that.
doc. Look, here
minus
we go. Here you go, Jan.
bruh,
Yeah.
bro. I mean, now
For real.
my minus
Take it
Omnisphere
all.
and minus all the third party, that's here now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because I didn't tell you because I forgot so much was going on. When I was when I just got the Logic Pro for iPad situated, if you actually go to your sessions, like if your computer is near,
yeah.
you will actually see, like if your sessions, if you save them in iCloud, your
Oh,
sessions are already on the pad.
bro,
Yep.
don't tell me that.
They already populated. I saw it yesterday when
But
I
it has to
first
be saved in
downloaded.
iCloud.
Yeah.
Hold on, bro.
They automatically populate, bro.
Bro, I'm about to test this right now. Okay,
They
iCloud.
Yeah, you can
automatically
you can
iCloud
populate.
Drive. Okay,
you
hold on,
can
bro.
I forget the name of the protocol, but you can actually use your iPad as an extension or as not a second screen, but it's sidecar
Yeah.
and then it's something else. But you can actually drag audio from your desktop onto your
Yeah,
iPad.
yeah, I've seen that.
Now,
Bro,
what I'm
I'm dragging.
thinking, like you said, the continuity between being in Logic and just picking up the iPad and walking off and being able to
Yep.
do it.
Yeah.
That
You should be
handoff.
able to do that in the iCloud Drive. If you save something in
That's
iCloud
I
Drive,
just saved something in iCloud Drive. Just saved a joint. What did I call it? I think I just called it Untitled. Untitled 3. And I got it pulled. I'm trying to see if it popped up over here. I'm scanning. I don't see it yet. But I saw my iCloud Drive spin up.
yeah, it should be there. Yeah, that joint was wild yesterday. I was
Yep, there
like,
it is.
yeah,
that's nuts.
Project
bro.
can't be open, but that's because I probably got some third party. It's not that bundle situation.
Yeah, that's the
But it's
thing.
there.
It's gotta be a bundled
Yeah,
project. Like
it's
in
gotta be
other
that
words, you
certain
gotta do
file
it as
format.
a package instead of a folder. So if you
That's
save it as a
wow.
package
That's
with
nuts.
stock plugins only, bro, you start on desktop, and then like you said, just pick up the iPad and just walk off, bro. And just
Okay.
Would you say 50?
Okay. That just changed some
That's what I'm
stuff.
saying. Like that's here now. It's in its infancy, bro. Next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's
Next
gonna be
year?
stupid.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Bro.
gonna be stupid. It's gonna be stupid.
Oh
It's
my
gonna be
god.
stupid. It's gonna be
Bro.
stupid.
Stock plugins? Nah, it's gonna be nothing.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. And then
Now I
like you
know
like
now
like
the
Jan
other
said,
way, if you save something on the iPad on iCloud Drive from the iPad and you pull it up on your computer,
Oh, I'm
hands
about to
down, that's
try
gonna
that.
pull up. Like
Yeah, I'm about to try that. Let me see. Hold
that's
on.
gonna pull up. You don't even gotta airdrop it. It should just
Yeah, see,
work.
there it is in my the joint is right there in my hold on, let me go back full screen. That
and like
joint
you
is
said,
right
Jan,
there in my joint.
you're not just getting by with stock plugins and
No, bro. They
stock
smack.
plugins will get you there. It will get you the placement.
Yeah.
Let me see. I
It
just
will.
dragged one over and then the
That's the
gospel mix
craziest
again.
part about it. That's why I said it's a one-stop shop. I'm willing to sacrifice
Yep,
the
it
Yuli
did. It moved
for
right over, bro.
stock plugin integration. I'm done here. I'm gonna pick it up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
that convenience alone is worth the $50 a month. You know, like you said,
Dang.
you're making that right back at the grocery store, on the toilet,
Oh,
at
all
church,
day. He
on
said
the,
it
you know what
Bro.
I'm
all
saying? It
It's
don't
the
matter.
technology, man. Like, and Apple started winning the game when they upgraded the sampler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
they poop. They
10.2
literally
was
said, "Oh, Ableton, we see you with your what is it called? Simpler in Ableton?
Yep.
It's called
yeah.
Simpler." They
They said,
ripped off Simpler verbatim, the
yeah,
same chop, everything, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can just put that in Logic." But what it does is they auto populate everything in the bundle, audio files,
yeah.
project session.
Yep.
Everything is all lumped into that same thing. So you could take it, um, even if someone doesn't have the same software instruments as you, the software instruments will auto populate in someone else's MacBook because it's saved all together
Yeah.
as a session. It's
As
cold,
a,
bro.
as a bundle. Yeah.
That's why they call it a bundle or package. It saves the instrument in the package, bro.
Yo.
Welcome to the future.
Yo.
That's
Welcome to
how,
the future.
dude. That's how I sell my packs because I know they
Yep.
don't have my samples when I
Yeah.
Yep.
sell packs. So I sell them the entire bundled package. So when
Yep.
they
What?
open it up, all of my stuff is already in there: audio files, plug-in settings, everything. It's
Oh,
all
you just opened up
auto-populated.
a whole new bag for me.
Oh yeah. And speaking of, we'll do
Appreciate
this.
that.
Just I love helping out people. We'll do the same thing for you, Brandon, as well. There's a little QR code up there in the corner for those who are still hanging out with us. That'll take you to Jan's site. That little QR code that
Oh,
takes you straight to
appreciate
Jan
y'all,
Hunter's
man.
site. Here you can get his mix plates. They are mix templates are ready for Logic Pro on the iPad. Like you can
Yeah.
get what you
Man.
got. Spout them out for you. The vocal chains. I can't call them all. You
Oh
got.
man, we got gospel vocal chains, R&B vocal chains, drum channel strips, volume 1 and 2, R&B vocals advanced. Yeah, we
Man.
out of here. And then my clutch patches, those are coming. Starting to get compatible, but clutch patches will definitely work on the iPad. My lo-fi template for Logic Pro, that's gonna work on the iPad because they're, again, like we're talking about, they're stock instruments and they auto populate everything in the folders.
That's
Gosh.
crazy.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy, man. Yeah. So definitely scan that code and grab those packs and stuff from Yan and do that. We got you can also get our gospel mixing template. I'll put that up there. You can grab that. Um that works for Logic. I got another joint. It's I'm trying to find Loop Elements because Loop Elements actually works for the iPad as well. It just you don't really have to do anything but just pull it
yeah,
up. Not Loop Elements Deluxe. Hold on, let me find the Logic version.
yeah,
Uh,
bro. Like
it's working.
I'm thinking about like hip hop, dude. Like in hip hop, nothing matters but the audio file.
Yep.
Like as long as you have audio,
Man.
you just bypass the whole plug-in everything because you have audio files. So I
And
think
that's a
like this whole
way different
iPad,
perspective.
yeah, bro. Like Ableton heads, they've been on this for a while. I'm just now coming into like that. That's my commonality. That's my common knowledge now. Like when I produce, it's like as long as I have audio files, sources, it doesn't matter which DAW I'm in, technically. However, a DAW that has a good sampler and that has easy process of converting whatever that piece of audio is into a MIDI instrument,
Yep.
which Logic does phenomenal with the sampler,
The
bro.
sampler.
I mean, there's no limit to. I mean, heck, you could sample your own. You could
A
sample your
sound
own.
designer's bag just opened
Exactly,
up so
Man.
much.
yeah, bro.
If you already
Yeah,
paid $200 for this, you about to get it paid for right now. Design some
Already.
sounds.
Design some
Ah,
sounds. Become a creator. And
design
speaking
sounds and put
of,
them.
we're gonna
Put
throw Brandon's site up there. You can grab that
there you go.
QR code. That'll get you to Brandon's website. And he's got packs and he's got all of that kind of stuff over there that you can
yeah, man.
support. I'm all about supporting not just supporting what we do, but supporting the creators and the people that we connect with. I try to throw as much stuff their way as possible. So make sure you connect up with him, tap into some of the stuff that we're doing because this is a way that you can also learn, even if like what they were just talking about, checking out packs and stuff that they've created, buying them, supporting them, downloading them, and looking at how they have things set up. It could inspire you to learn how to create those because that's all we did. We didn't do nothing
Facts.
special. We didn't go to school for this stuff.
Facts.
We learn from other products that we bought and recapitulated that into learning how to do it for ourselves. And doing that kind of stuff, you can easily pay for $50 a year for Logic. Find you something that's gonna pay
Yeah,
for it.
bro. I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
sell one pack. All you gotta do is sell one pack a year, and Logic is
Logic's
paid
paid
for
for.
the year.
Even just
Oh
sell one
man.
pack.
You
All
just
right.
sell one.
Well, I ain't we if we don't stop now, we're gonna be on for another three
Bro, I
hours.
could talk about Logic Pro
All day.
for
Oh,
like all day,
dang.
dog. Like,
We can do this
bro,
all day.
like
Same, bro.
straight up,
Same,
man.
bro.
That's my dog. Like,
Yep,
yo,
yep. That's my dog, not my dog.
That's
That's
my
my
dog.
dog.
That's my
that's my dog, bro. You can't mess with me in Logic, bro.
dog.
You can't mess with me, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. But my lunch bag is telling me like it's time.
Oh
Time
yeah,
to
yeah,
go,
yeah.
man. It's time to get off. Man, we appreciate all of y'all that have been hanging out. Let me bring my music back in. Let's bring the music in. Let's catch a
Come
let's
on,
catch a
exit
quick
music. Exit
let's
stage
catch a
left.
yeah, let's catch a quick vibe with the music, man. Yeah. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. That's what this is. It's the Hangout podcast. I appreciate my guests today, Jan Hunter Jr. And Brandon Rico. You guys make sure that y'all go support them. Just type any one of their names in YouTube and you're going to get a plethora, that's the word of the day, boys and girls, of information. And you're going to learn and go up from there. And make sure you check out Logic on the iPad. Let us know in the comments section and all of that stuff, like what you think about it. I appreciate everybody that's been hanging out with us in the live chat and keeping everything moving. We'll be back, maybe not next week, but week after that. We try to do these bi-weekly, and we'll connect up with you guys. Make sure you do everything that you do on video, subscribe, and all of that yin yang jazz. All right, we out. Holla at ya boys. Peace.